enmity, more than hate and jealousy. Yeah. Now this is time. We need education, more than bullets and bombs. Now this is time. We need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. Now this is time. We have to wake up and change the world. As a result of 2,000 years of hypocrisy, ego-driven leaders in pursuit of property, power and wealth and fame, oppressing and murdering, killing all in God's name. Iniquity spread across the nation. Humanity is into separation. In the midst of our darkest hour, we rise to reclaim our power. In this time, we love and unity, more than hate and jealousy. Yeah. In this time, we need education, more than bullets and bombs. We say we not give up, not give up, not give up. Oh no, we not give it, not give it, not give up. Mission using dirty politicians, brainwash education, war on religion, racial division, food with no nutrition. Hey, this is the Babylon system. Their intention to use all their wicked invention, all the propaganda promoting consumerism, and silent distraction, only misdirection to break high and high connection. But if you want come from me, make you know say what I want. This is how I get you ready for the Armageddon. I'm in for the revolution, power, love and compassion. Cause if we go at them with weapons, then they have more guns. Go at them with money, then they have more funds. With unification, then time soon done. We owe to our daughters and sons in a decent time. Love and unity, more than hate and jealousy. Yeah. Now this is time. We need education, more than bullets and bombs. Now this is time. We need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. Now this is time. We have to wake up and change the world. Now this is time. We need love and unity, more than hate and jealousy. Yeah. Now this is time. We need education, more than bullets and bombs. In this time, we need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. In this time, we have to wake up and change the world.
I'm on the next level, yeah, I know you heard about it. You know I'm about it, and don't you ever doubt it. I'm incomparable, that's why they stare and go. Turn up the stereo, check it out, check it out, check it out. I'm not just like a sauna, New York to California. Too hot, too hot. You ain't seen nothing like this. Nobody do it like this. I'm on the next level, next level, on the next level. They all trying to catch up to my next level, next level, on the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la. You like that old school back in the music? That shit is old news. I'm popping through the ceiling. That's my motto. That's my motto. I lead, they follow. I'm about to break it down. Watch me while I work it. I'm not just like a sauna. New York to California. Too hot, too hot. You ain't seen nothing like this. Nobody do it like this. I'm on the next level, next
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the show. I got Shampoo with me, or should I say Shampoo? RT says, hey, Shampoo and Jen. What's up? I think you might be muted.
I said just whichever you like, because doesn't really matter.
Every time we talk our text and we try to say shampoo, it always comes out shampoo. I gave up on it. I just let it go. Shampoo and Jen.
It doesn't exist, so it
It's said with love.
Yeah, tries to find the nearest.
Shampoo research.
Yeah.
Shampoo, baby. I got the curly shampoos today.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, this is all natural, guys. I didn't do nothing to my hair. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying. When you see it straight is when it's not natural, and I do my hair. This is throw it up and go. I was out exploring today with Jeremy from I Want to Know More, and that's his channel, I Want to Know More, and my son Ryan. So we spent a good portion of the afternoon up on the mountain today. It was 92 degrees, mind you. So, and we got some really good footage. I'm going to show that later. Jeremy is amazing when he helps me so much when we're out exploring. He's always holding my hand, making sure I don't fall, even though I fall all the time because I have vertigo. This ear's muffed up. I don't want to get into how it got muffed up, but I have really bad balance. So if I get off kilter, I just go and I kind of fall over, and I fell over on a stick, like a branch that I'm lucky this thing didn't impale my leg. Okay. So I have this huge, like about this long scratch on my leg. I was wearing shorts, because it's 92 degrees. What else am I going to wear? Right. But anyway, yeah, it's not pretty, but it didn't like bleed a lot or anything. It's more like a scratch scrape kind of thing. So that's what happened to my leg today, but it feels fine. I'm not hurting or anything like that. I rather enjoy. I just like walk it off. You're numb anyway when stuff like that happens, and it just keep going. And I just love hiking over these big, huge boulders, and every turn it looks different. Every angle, like even when we would hike up away from certain areas, I'd have to stop and turn around and look back at where we was because it would have a whole nother view to it. And it's just pretty incredible, the size of whatever this building was known as Mount Chiha. It was massive. It was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how you doing, Shampoo? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good today. Yeah.
Okay. So we canceled the show because of you yesterday. I'm just saying.
Sorry, everyone. I was a bit tired.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could get through like a 2-hour show.
Is it your allergies? Are you starting to get allergies up there now?
Yeah, now it's gone. It's been like I said, it's been how many times? It's been like 2 weeks since we did a show. So, but the week before the last one, it was so hot here, like the 90 degrees weather all week. So I went out and did like mountain biking. It's 4 days in a row. All
right. I just have to interrupt you for a second. Adam, I just got to tell you this. I'm Italian and I'm from Philly. So there's that. An F-bomb will drop out of my mouth at any given time. I'm sorry. I've tried to reel it in over the years. I think I've done pretty good. If you're new to my channel, either you're going to love me or hate me, it seems these days. So
yeah.
If you leave, though, because I say an F-bomb, you're going to miss out on some pretty fucking awesome shit. That's all I got to say. Look, guys, got my shirt on today. Meltology, the study and exploration of melted structures. That's right, baby.
Yeah.
And I got Steve, Ceiling Fan Man, and his wife one as well, just because I love them so much. And I wanted to just see, everybody always sees these shirts in black and white. Jeannie wanted hers in a different color. So we did blue and white. I don't think you see it too good. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, blue and white looks really cute for Jeannie. And I really like them. They're nice and light. They're nice and light and comfortable. If anybody is interested in a Meltology 101 shirt, or one of these shirts even. I can get this one done as well. Meltology 101 across it, or this. In the description box below the video here, we'll explain how to do that. I'm not selling these shirts, guys. I just send them out as a thank you for donations, $40 or more. It's my way of giving back a little bit. So the way it works is the shirt's about $20. Well, these ones with this on it is $24. But the Meltology 101 is $20 to get it made. I have to spend $5 to mail it out to you if you're in the United States. So basically, I'm only getting $15 out of that 40, okay? Unless you 40 or more, whatever. But that's just my way of trying to give back to you guys a little, because you guys have been so awesome, and I love you guys, and I really would like to see people sporting these shirts anyway, because they're just so fucking cool, So there's that.
They're very light, so they're perfect for summer. So
yeah, they are. They're really light. The other ones that he has aren't this light material. He doesn't have V-necks in these, and a lot of people don't like this around their neck, but it is really, it's real light. So as long as you're not standing in the sun, you should be okay. So yeah, Adam S. I hope I didn't offend you in any way. I'm just saying this is how I roll on my channel. I usually don't curse too much,
yeah.
but every once in a while, you got to let an F-bomb roll out, Yeah. Lets the pressure off a little.
Yeah. In my family, everybody use like a swear word for a comma, so I'm used to this. You fucking this, fucking that, and this is how we talk here.
RT says, look at this. It says, here's a shirt, Shampooology. You have to be there.
That will be a funny one. So
I love that. Yeah. The next shirts I'm going to get done, and I get these done for myself, guys. I mean, it's just like the next one I'm going to get done is going to say no bueno. Just like my sign here. You can see it right here. It's going to look like that. And I'm probably going to send Steve one because he started the whole no bueno thing, and I just love it.
Yeah.
So
it would be perfect.
So Shampoo, we're going to get into some stuff. You sent me some really cool stuff over the last, 2 weeks. If you want to get started on some of the stuff you want to present, and I'm going to get my stuff set up for the back end of the show, all my videos and everything.
I don't even know what to start with.
Well, let's go to the San Francisco Vesuvius one that you sent a while ago.
Oh yeah, this is just some crazy stuff. Yeah,
I was reading it over and stuff, and then I had stuff going on with my mom. My son's here and everything. Sometimes I like read half of it and run off and go do something and forget I was reading it, and then move on with the rest of my day and stuff. But there was some pretty interesting verbiage there being used in that article, so we're going to go over that. And I got to tell you, more and more I hear this word melt or melted coming up out of people's mouths in descriptive different places and stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I tried to, but I read the full book because it came from a book. The book is called San Francisco Destruction of San Francisco by Earthquake and Fire. And it's a 400-page book, so I'll read it all. But only the title of the article is enough. So we could go through only the title of all the chapters. This just is.
Yeah, let's do it. We want to screen share?
But yeah. I'll start with the article that was shared on the group. That bring share screen. Been so long that I don't remember.
Hang on a second. I'm going to mute for 1 second.
Yeah. So, did you? Okay, so I found this. Someone shared this. This.
Hey guys, this is my son Ryan. He's my youngest. He's 28 years old.
Hi Ryan.
Hi, how are you?
And he was out exploring with us as well today, and he's got a Meltology shirt as well.
Yeah, it's really nice looking.
He's my baby.
Yeah.
He uses coconut oil all the time in his mouth, by the way, and on his hair and on his skin too. Coconut oil is really good for you. And if you guys ever have tooth problems or anything, put the coconut oil in your mouth, swish it around. Well, you do it for a half an hour.
Yeah.
He's got the most beautiful white teeth. Smile. Show your teeth. Look at me. He doesn't even brush his teeth. He only uses coconut oil and he flosses all the time.
Yeah, it works.
I'm telling you, dude.
Since I used it, I have like whiter teeth than ever. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, guys, do the coconut oil. It's called oil pulling. Do it twice a day. I do it for about 5-6 minutes. He does it for 30 minutes. That's my preference is 5. I can't keep my mouth shut more than 5 minutes. So, it's like, but anyway, you can swallow it if you want, but I usually spit mine out. But the point being is that the coconut oil is going to kill all the bacteria in your mouth and in your gums. And the bacteria is what gives you these infections and really hurt your teeth when you get food down there and all this stuff. Next thing you know, you have a toothache, all this horrible stuff. Coconut oil. And make sure it's the most purest form of coconut oil. I do get the kind from the Dollar Tree that's like Butcher's Mark or something, which is my son only uses organic because he's like all
keto,
about it. Yeah.
Whatever keto means.
Yeah. And how much is yours? Like $6-7?
I make sure I spend the most because it means something to me. So it's valuable. So I want to spend the most for it, you know.
But it gets the organic stuff and everything.
I probably can't afford a dentist, but I don't want to because I'm not into all that right now.
Yeah, but you don't even need a dentist.
I don't need a dentist now.
There's no need for it. So that's the problem. That's the thing is that you won't need a dentist anymore.
Don't ever go there. They fuck up your mouth, you know. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, they told my sister she's got swollen gums and all this stuff. I was like, start doing coconut oil. You'll never see your dentist ever again.
Yeah.
I only used to go to the dentist just to get teeth pulled out.
Yeah. And I used a couple of years ago, I had to go there and get my tooth pulled out because it was really aching. And I got my tooth pulled out and the same pain came back next year. So it wasn't the tooth, you know?
Wow.
So, yeah, exactly.
I've had 3 teeth pulled out since I moved here in 2009. And I could probably get one more pulled out. But since I started doing the coconut oil, it doesn't even bother me anymore. I mean, like at all. Like I can't, you know, like you would chew on a tooth, like say one of your back teeth, it starts to get wore out or something. You're chewing on, it's like, oh, you know, it's real sensitive and stuff. You won't even get that anymore, that sensitivity or nothing. Receding gum lines. I had a receding gum down here, and it starts to come back. So I mean, it's just like, yeah, it was receding down here a little. You know, because I'm 52. I don't know. My gums receding a little. That's not a good thing. So the coconut oil brought that all back and stuff, and really just makes your whole mouth just amazing.
Because there's not really like a blood flow in your mouth. You know, this if you could wash your mouth with blood would be better, but who wants to do that? You know.
Yeah.
But the closest thing is coconut oil. You know, because if you ever need blood transfusion and you don't have blood, you can use like coconut water to replace blood because it's kind of the same thing. I don't even know how it works, but it does.
Wow.
So.
We're finding out more and more we don't know shit about shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking to myself the other day, like, what if we never had cars, right? Like I'm driving down the road thinking, what if driving a car was completely fucking foreign to us? Maybe we all just naturally had the Jetson mobile where you just took off and flew somewhere. And the thought of getting in a car and driving on the ground seems so foreign and strange to us. That, you know what I mean? For us today, I don't know. I always do that. I think of these strange things like.
Yeah, for me now, it's been like six years now since I just sold my car and didn't renew my permit, and now I just go on biking, and it's been wonderful for my health and everything else, you know. So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you used to ride a bike everywhere.
Yeah, I rode a bike for the longest time before I finally got my Nissan Quest.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to make something of that, and then I blew the engine off. Not on purpose.
Everybody blows an engine once in their life.
I had an oil leak, and I didn't know it was that bad, so it seized on me. I couldn't turn the crankshaft anymore. So now I got an F-150. I'm gonna try to get on the road. It's a nice F-150, the older one, 2002.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
last forever.
Yeah, that's what they say. So I'm gonna try to baby it for as long as I can. And
Come over here.
but the obvious thing is,
There you go.
yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of like Bao on going crazy with the being really disrespectful to the public servants. Maybe they might deserve it or not, but
What's his name?
Bao, B-A-O.
On YouTube.
Yeah, he goes crazy.
So there's this guy named Bao on YouTube. B-O, what is it?
B-A-O.
B-A-O. And he goes after cops. Like, you know, he'll call them out on their bullshit. Like when they try to pick on him and stuff. And anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sure you can do that, but it's like when you see them do it and then they walk away from it, it's like, couldn't have they done a little bit differently? What if they got these guys to, you know, they were a little nicer, I guess. I guess so. I mean, not that they deserve to have us to be nice to
Look,
them.
if you're nice to cops, they'll be nice to you. But generally, I don't like cops. I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't want them to know I'm around. I want totally to stay off of their radar. I avoid them at all costs. I'm sure they're very nice people. I just don't want to do it though. Stay away from me, cops.
So this gets into a lot of responsibility.
Anyway,
Yeah, responsibility. It's a big fear of mine, I guess, but it's worth it. Totally worth it. You know, it's a worthy challenge to go through. Yeah, that's it. Class with Bell. Yeah, he is funny. I mean,
where is it on
he had the biggest smile when he got away from the one guy that was trying to get him for jaywalking, which was ridiculous. He's like, let me lick your boots. Let me lick your boots. Can I lick them?
Yeah, because the police officers are just like, they just walk away after a while because, you know, this guy is not intimidated by cops or police officers, whatever you want to call them. Kind of like Ray from Boston here. But, you know, there's a certain level of respect, but they come at you like they want you to lick their boots half the time, you know, and you get the nice one here and there. But for the most part, they're like, you know, you must obey my authority, especially in the bigger cities. Here in the small towns, not so bad. They're pretty okay. But you get the people who are like all, you know, jaded from working in the big cities with all the crime and everything and the shit that they got to deal with every day. They're not, you know, as servant as you would like them to be.
They just sent all the younger police officers here first because here it's like a smaller city, and they try to prove themselves here, and they try to be bullies and things, but they just try, you know. Once they see it doesn't work with you, they just change their gun, and now they're all nice. So.
There's more of us than there are them, so I don't want to stay on this topic too long because they'll take me down for who knows what speech. So check on Bella or Lola, and
Okay.
I'm going to get into this screen
All
share.
right. Bye, guys.
He said, hi. All right, we're going into a screen share. You're welcome, Ray. Use it, don't abuse it. All right, here we go with the screen share, guys. Let me get into some fascinating stuff.
Just tell me when you see it.
All right, we're good. I'm going to make it extra big.
So this is the article that was shared. You know, they shared the picture, but the picture doesn't mean anything.
Could be a picture from anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing that was important, it was this this text appearing after the image. Is it big enough, Jen?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's from this book here.
The Destruction of San Francisco by Earthquake and Fire. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
And I don't know why. The complete story of the greatest, and there's a Vesuvius eruption. I think
I'm like, why is that even in there with this? But we're going to find out.
Yeah, I think it's because this year there was 1906. They say there
Yes.
was.
There was a
an eruption.
1906 eruption.
Yeah,
That's what they say in Vesuvius, which I don't think so. I think that they made it look like it erupted.
Yeah, exactly. You show the planes flying over it, and
Yeah, that was in World War II. See, what they did was something in 1906. Maybe they didn't get everything. They had to come back in 1947 or 1944. Excuse me, 1944, and throw some bombs in there. Because 1906 they didn't have planes with bombs. 1944 they did.
yeah. We'll see. I have something from 1944 to show after, and you're gonna see.
Okay.
So this is the text that said that this is the text after the image.
Mhm.
The awful bombardment was kept up all the day and night of Wednesday to Thursday. Look out, Thursday is even written, like with the. It's like Thursday.
Thursday.
Evening. They say here like the supplies of explosive was nearly exhausted because the government had I don't want to let just people read because I'm not a good reader, but I'll just tell why they say this, because they say that because of the earthquakes and the fires that just happened after. They say they were to use like dynamite to blow off, to stop the fire, exactly like the volcanoes, Jen.
Yep.
Throwing bomb to stop the volcanoes.
Well, everybody was saying that these buildings in San Francisco looked like they were bombed.
Yeah,
And they're throwing dynamite around and shit.
yeah, they use like explosive and dynamite to stop the fires. They say, but they say they didn't know what they were doing, but they caused more damage.
These people who built incredible buildings don't know what the fuck they're doing with dynamite.
Exactly, exactly. So they say now, it caused more damage. These dynamite, this is just the cover story for the
Exactly.
real thing that happened. There weren't any earthquakes, but probably earthquakes, but from bombs.
Doesn't it say something in there about melted?
Yes. Here, right here, practically the entire city was doomed. Even the most sanguine then gave up hope. Block after block of great offices, building, hotels, theater. How many? How does it call this punctuation? I don't know. This thing, another here, theaters,
Etc. Etc. Maybe, I don't know.
This, yeah, I don't know. But factories and warehouses melted away like wax.
Hear that, guys?
In the terrific heat,
Melted away like wax in the fervent heat, in the extreme heat.
Yeah, but they say it's from the fire, that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, the verbiage is definitely interesting.
And I should have brought some pictures of the San Francisco, but everybody have seen it.
Yeah.
It looks like a war zone.
It does. It doesn't look any different from, many other pictures that we've seen around the plane of places that have been bombarded. Yeah. Hell, you could even compare it to the supposed bombardment of England in World War II.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna show later another city that was bombed and documented. But the reason for it to have been bombed again, it's because there were Nazis hiding somewhere again.
It's the Nazis. It's always the Nazis.
Yeah, you have to have a fall guy somewhere. What's going on? My things doesn't load.
It's okay. Take your time. We're good.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the right page, but I can't see anything.
I have those issues all the time.
I'm not supposed to.
Patricia's here. What's up, Patricia? You got a shirt.
Okay. So this is the book from 1906, the same year, The same year, he has a book already out.
Of course.
And what's going on? I'm sorry.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Oh, man, I don't know. Doesn't load. What's happening? Yeah, the pictures are nothing. So just want to go to the contents here.
A salted cedar.
I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
This
good.
This chapter 1, and you can see all the. This is the first like paragraph. This is the first Golden Gate wipeout. The Golden Gate City wipeout by earthquake and fire.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember They have. There was
And then
one.
it says, what's it say? Shoes. Go. Something mysterious. Twilight of the dawn. What is that?
Yeah, just the title of another article.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, there's some really weird things in this. Just the titles, thousand buried.
This one here says water veins broken by quake.
Yes, there was water everywhere because they say that the earthquake caused this, but we know that couldn't. There was the population rushed into the street, running everywhere. People got squashed by the buildings falling. That's what they were saying, but nobody really talks about this,
Right.
But I should have wrote this. This one. Look, the panic as seized by the citizen martial law is proclaimed. And now the general has taken charge, and the troops, the patrol in the street, they are shooting of ghouls and thieves.
What?
Yeah. I didn't read it, but on the chapter 4, I will. If anybody wants to go read it, I'll just put the link in the chat. But yeah, the shooting of ghouls and thieves. I don't know what they want to insinuate of ghouls, but
What are ghouls? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But there was hunger, thirst, and fear of epidemic. The lunatic from the asylum tied to the trees.
What?
Yeah. The people were going crazy. I don't know what's
Sounds
going
like a Pink Floyd song or something.
Oh, really? So this chapter, of the Ring of Terror, is just crazy.
Reign of Terror.
Yeah. Now, after bringing order out of chaos,
Oh, yes. They love to bring order out of chaos.
So this general go into the town with his soldiers and they were shooting the thieves and the ghouls, It was crazy. And they were establishing camps and everything, but looks like they were attacked or something, It doesn't look like just
all this craziness with San Francisco, they don't talk about getting rid of all the rubble and stuff and rebuilding. They just talk about rebuilding. It's like a year later, they're rebuilding shit like crazy. 2 years later, there's like a building going up every 5 minutes practically. What's an hour, every hour and a half, there was a building going up somewhere within the first 3 years.
Yeah, they say they started rebuilding right away.
Yeah, like there's just no shortage of people and bricks and stuff, and they're gonna just start building everything like just right back to the way it was.
Yeah, and they say here, like desolation, people were drunk in orgies everywhere.
What?
Yeah, like right here, held by that denizen, They were just drinking away there.
My God, there's ghouls, there's orgies, there's the order out of chaos.
Yeah,
Sounds like a Lucifer fest.
yeah, exactly. Millionaires breakfast on the grass, you know.
Whoa, tales told by the survivors. Jeez, I wonder what tales they're telling.
Yeah, you know, I didn't have time to read it all. I just read like the last part of it because this was people wrote like stories, and they say that they were real stories, but it was really really weird. Really, really.
What's it say? Soldier shoots man to save him from death in flames.
Yes, yes, yes. This
Oh,
one.
that's number. Is that 133? I thought it was 33.
Yeah. So, a soldier shoots a man to save him from death in the flames. You know how the Grand Opera, and they say
And this all started from what? A cow kicked over a lantern, right?
no, it was a earthquake. They say that started all of this.
Oh, I thought the fire was started. Or maybe I have the wrong city.
No.
I am sniffing glue, and I'm a little retarded. So there's
that.
that.
That was in Chicago or
Melanie is my my cohort.
or this
Supplies me with glue.
Yeah.
Oh, now I almost died in the shower earlier. That happened too.
So this was interesting that the institution of learning, the University of California, was not damaged.
Of course not.
Chinatown is devastated. All the Orientals perished, threw themselves to death. You know?
And threw themselves to death.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
This book is just crazy, you know. Must be a crazy read. I didn't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, like eating popcorn reading this shit.
And this panic-stricken, the Chinese have no time to placate the dragon of evil in Earth's center.
What? What?
I don't even know what they're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You know, the great hotels. We all seen the footage of all this, but these titles are just. And the government myth alone is safe, you know.
Of course, we can't let that burn down.
Yeah, no, we don't destroy government.
We can't bomb that one. Yeah. We need that.
Yep. Yeah. What else?
By earthquake.
Many persons perished. Yeah, fatal landslide. But that's another place. They say that other towns along the coast, you know, but along the coast where they have like these giant ships.
Is that sulfur? Is that what it says? Source of towns along coast sulfur severely?
Suffer.
Oh, suffer.
Yeah,
it looks like an L. It looks like SULFER. I'm trying to use my magnifying glass here. Plus, I have glasses on. It's really sad.
Yeah, here they say geologists had expected disaster because of city's dangerous location.
Oh, yes.
The city's still there today. What was the difference? You know?
Just jackwagon geologists.
Exactly. But they say thought loss of life was infrequent. But this time...
The loss of life was infrequent.
Yeah, infrequent.
Dire prophecies of seers.
Yeah. Because they say they had, I guess, many earthquakes before. I don't know.
Right.
But in this book, someone just circled this. And it was the value of the properties that were destroyed. I think it's more than that because these buildings were just huge. It's just crazy.
Right.
You know, only just in San Francisco 400 million, but the other places is just 12 million. So,
where'd they get all this money from? Oh, that's right. They saved the mint, so they just printed it out.
Yeah. And this is the rebuilding of San Francisco assured before its ashes are cooled.
Of course.
So they already, before it's all cooled down and still smoking, they have rebuilt.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what they're using to fire the bricks.
So and they say the city will be safer than the old. You know, if you look at it, it just was even more beautiful than the new one.
Wow.
It's crazy. But if anyone want to read it, the link is in the chat.
Was a group of individuals.
Yeah.
Single soul.
What's Frisco's has lost? What has been lost in the destruction?
Frisco.
Yeah, numerous. Yeah. They say that was a forest. I think there was another interesting. Oh, here they say that the first they come into the 1776, the first missionaries in San Francisco. You know, but I think it was already there before this time. And which one was interesting too? Spain, no. I think the Sutro bats was not touched, but they destroyed it anyway. You know, the cliff house and the Sutro bat were never touched, but they decided to destroy it. It doesn't say it here, but we know today that they did. What else? The question of Philippines, no. China. And then they talk about the eruption of Vesuvius. And they compare it with the destruction of San Francisco. Pretty weird. But
It's weird.
do you remember in the Monte, Urbano Monte, where there was volcanoes in San Francisco?
Yes.
So
I remember that right along that edge of whatever that, maybe the Bay Area or in between like a river system there, or right on the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that is why they talk about it. I don't know, but they changed.
It kind of reminded me of like 3 Mile Island and stuff like that, where we have our nuclear reactors now and stuff with those weird looking, like cone looking structures that they're like vats or something where all the steam comes out of.
Yeah.
You know, like if those things melted down, maybe they would look like circular craterish looking things because they are circular.
So I think they wanted to add with this false history another one, the one of volcanoes, because here they talk about all the other volcanoes, like the largest volcano in Mauna Loa, the most active live volcanoes, you know.
And we know they bombed Mauna Loa.
How earthquake affects the globe, you know. And cause earthquake, volcanic phenomena.
Right. So look, guys, we're on a flat plane, and all this stuff is based on the globe model, right? Earthquakes and volcanism. And so how is it all explained on the flat plane? You know, volcanism and their molten core, where all this lava and heat supposedly come from, doesn't exist. So, there's got some explaining to do.
And here, the last one. This is the one the chapter 33, Jen. The mythology of volcanoes. You know.
Oh, the mythology. The mythology.
Or is it real? You know.
Is it real or is it Memorex?
Yeah.
So
I found it really interesting that it was the last chapter, the 33rd one, and it's a myth of volcanoes. So I've read all of it, but it doesn't say anything. It's just weird story.
Wow.
It doesn't talk really about volcanoes. So.
Hey, Mark.
But this is just what I want to show about this book. You know, I cannot read everything, and I didn't read it. But it was funny. It was the comparison of with.
I know you dropped the link once. You want to put it again in case somebody just came in and wants to see that link?
Yeah.
Drop it one more time, guys. You can read all the chapters in this thing.
Yeah. So this was the.
It was 94 here today in Alabama.
Nice. But you know, I talked last week was all in the 90s here, but this week it's like 70, and it rained all week. The temperature differences here they are just crazy, you know, from winter to summer.
It's like you skipped over spring and went right to summer.
Yeah, it's always like this here. There's no in between. The in between is the day that it rains, you know. It's either really hot and humid or really cold. So, do you want me to continue with my?
Yeah, well, you got other stuff to show
Yeah.
from the messages. Yeah, you can bring up all your other stuff.
I can bring like the thing other like we're in the destruction of cities, so I'll bring another one. You ever heard about if you follow like the Nazi, the Monte Cassino war in Italy? No. So there was this place in Italy, but not just it was a city, but this is just a monastery in 1945. I'll just show you one picture first. That you can see this.
Wow.
This whole city destroyed, you know.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. But the reason say that they said that the Nazis were hitting there, you know.
Interesting. Kind of looks volcano-ish.
Exactly, Jan. But it was where's my pictures of this city? Not destroyed cities. This is the up here. You know, they do reconnaissance. Oh, look, this is what it looked like before, I think. But they started bombing already.
Yeah, I see it.
But they went there, you know, it's just airdropping bombs everywhere like this, with just like they did on Vesuvius and the city around it. Yeah. And
well, these wars are a good excuse to go around destroying all this stuff and getting rid of more stuff. And they probably had it all planned out. Continuing to write his story the way they want it to look and be perceived.
But you can see that this old city was up all this around this all the side of the mountain and everywhere. But they kind of look, if you can see all the mountains that we see today, they exactly look like this.
Oh yeah, can we zoom in on this one?
Yeah. But we know that this was another monastery that they say.
Wow. Look at that, guys.
Like this part, we see it everywhere. This part, they say that these are carved into the mountains, you know.
Right. And we say the mountain is the building, guys. The mountain is the building. And when you go down into these structures, you find tunnels and corridors and walkways and more rooms.
You can see here, like openings here. There was buildings all over this place.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see that there were still remains. Still bombing. Yeah, you can. They made a lot of documentaries about this place because of the Nazi regime. They wanted to say that they were something else, maybe.
Well, there's a lot going on there. I bet the whole interior of that thing is probably mostly intact. You got to think these buildings went down deep on the inside even. And, granted, the outside of it's all muffed up and everything, but there's probably parts inside, like we're seeing here peeking out even, that are still accessible, or at least
Yeah,
they were.
exactly. And I will show you what it looks like today. And Jen, again, look at this town. Look how damaged. Why would you?
They
If they're not,
obliterated.
yeah, if the Nazis were just hiding in the monastery, why did you destroy the old town? You know, the old city.
That's unbelievable.
Look how. I just don't know why would people.
See that terracing going up too? You can see the terracing. Yeah, that's all building, guys. And a lot of these places, we see this terracing all over Italy, all over
Yeah.
tons of places. I have some stuff I'm going to show about in the Naples area, over by it's called BAIA, and it's all terraced and melted.
Here you can see that this was all buildings all over it.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can
scroll in on that center part right there.
right there.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. Yeah, that was all one building all the way up. Look at it. Keep going
Yeah.
up, up, up. Wow.
You can see that it's all rubble. That's just the small hill before, because this is the place that they say that the Nazis were hitting, right on top there, but they destroyed everything else. And it was like a coalition of countries.
That's crazy. Those crazy Nazis.
Yeah, they need a fall guy, and these were the Nazis, German. You can see, but they went out and just dropped bombs everywhere. The same. You remember the bomb they found in the Alps?
Yes, and that looks like one of the bombs that they found also at Mauna Loa.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same type of.
And they still have these people today that go around bombing volcanoes. There's a whole section of the military, I guess, that are bombardiers for volcanoes. You had the patches for them and stuff for the.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can see them going with their.
We have to show those patches. Do you still have those in a folder too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have to show those. I almost fell out of my chair when you showed me those.
And you can see why are they walking just there just to everything's destroyed and mangled, but they just go there. I will show a picture later that
Put the photo up, guys. Those people don't even look dirty. Look at them.
exactly, Jen, the photo up I will show you, and they go there and just destroy the remains that they could, the planes and the tanks built. Yeah.
That's what they did with Vesuvius. I mean, if there's a statue head embedded in the side of Vesuvius, they missed some stuff. They got mostly everything, but man, look at that. Wow.
Look at the water. This is not a lake, Must be like the plumbing and everything.
Right.
Yeah, look at this, What?
Wow.
Just saddens me that people would do these type of things. And they say mines, they didn't want anybody to go there. Because they weren't mined before, there were people living there.
Yeah, and why are you going to put mines in? Like, as if anybody's going to go to this desolate place and go back. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now there's mines there. Don't go here. Because you're going to see some stuff that they don't want you to see.
Exactly. Yeah, look. Who are the Nazis,
Again, look at these perfect. Look at these perfect uniforms. That one guy's got a beer in his hand. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at this. Do these guys look like they're at war?
I don't think so. They're smiley. Yay. Drinking coffee.
Wow.
And they're already.
He's got his bulldozer thing there. Yeah.
They're ready to clean up the place already.
Wow.
And here you can see. This is all the plumbing that did this.
Absolutely.
But now look, they already have these pile of bricks. And this, remember this statue? I will show you what it looks like today. And they still have it.
Really?
The old place, it's the same, Jen. Same thing. And this is just artillery that they used, again, not to kill anyone, but just to destroy everything. Here, another picture, the same guys. That's photo ops, cleaning up. But I just wanted to show you that this is the same thing that all the mountains that they say they have carved openings in it, but they are
Yep.
brick things.
Look at that. That's just an incredible picture. That one. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one is low quality. But the first one I showed, yeah. And again, they're already cleaning up the place. So they knew.
Well, that's what they did after they bombed Vesuvius. They sent our guys in to clean up all the ash that fell, which it wasn't even that much ash. It was nothing like supposedly the other eruptions, right? Because there were bombs.
And here, the same statue, no head.
No head.
But they already had the head. Look here.
Decapitated. They're like, here's his head. Let's crazy glue it back on.
Yeah. And you can see that they tried to take out the tank. The tank is just stuck in the mud, I guess.
And guys, the other eruptions that I mean, meaning that they had this concoction since the 1700s that they could fake volcanoes. It was, what was it? Sulfur, metal shavings, and water. You mix it together and bury it in the ground.
Yeah.
And then 8 hours later, you got a fucking volcano.
Yeah. And look. Actually,
Wow.
how does it call erodium? This is the
It
same.
does look like herodium-ish. Yeah.
But you can see from it looks like a star 40.
It does look star 40 too. Yeah.
But not anymore, because I can't show you now. These are the crosses that they gave the people that went there, but they still use the iron cross that the Nazi used.
Oh yeah, that iron cross is everywhere. Everywhere. I don't care what royal you look at, they're gonna have this iron cross on. It might be different colors, but it's all the same, guys.
Yeah. Monte Cassino, 1944, but they still use all the iron crosses that the Nazi uses.
Yep. It's because they're all on the same team. They're all on the same team, and the team is destroy everything and cover up all the evidence.
And then they just do this. They do, again, just models of places.
Wow. It even looks melted.
Look, you can't even see the red brick.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Yep. It's so crazy that they make it like that.
Even in the model. But I'll show you, look, that's the day. Okay? That's what it looks like. No, there's no buildings left. You can still see the terracing, Jen, like you said.
Yes, you can. I see it. Yep.
Probably where all these buildings were everywhere.
There's probably all kinds of caves and tunnels under there.
Oh, yes, probably. Look, you can even see that this was some kind of structure, but now it's just a mountain.
A mountain of melted buildings is what it is.
Exactly. This is the city now. And
the word mountain has no standardized geological definition, guys.
And you can slip. This is today.
Huh.
They just rebuilt it exactly the same way that it was.
Interesting.
Yeah. I know, but you can see that. Oh.
The foundation looks like it's still there. That part, yeah.
Yeah, this part, and I think it goes through the foliage here. But
Mhm.
there's like an error on the in the picture. And you can see, look here, like the building,
Oh
the
yeah.
remnants
Yep.
of the old one. Yeah,
I call those like phantom walls
yeah.
sticking out and stuff.
Now they call it just terracing, but they were all foundation of the old world buildings.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow. Look at that. What are we on Machu Picchu here?
yeah. But it just amazed me how they just go there and just rebuild it the same way it was. But look, you can still see remains of
Oh yeah, look at that. Can you
buildings everywhere. Yeah,
zoom in on this a little bit more?
yeah, the quality is not that good, but
Wow. Yep.
all of this would have been brick buildings.
Wow.
But probably not damaged in the melt, but damaged with explosive that really big explosives that could probably do the same thing that the event would have done. Look, this is the statue I was talking about. The same
Wow.
one. They just repaired it. I don't know, refurbished it in some way.
I just don't get why they bomb this shit and then rebuild it back the same. Like,
I know.
just so confusing.
But this is what they do to maintain their stories, because they have to blame someone.
Yeah.
This is the interior.
Oh, look at this, guys. Holy crap. Wow. This is tech right here all day long. Let's
But
scroll in.
all this was rebuilt the old, they say it in the story, the same way that it was. I don't know who has recorded all of the buildings, how they were. But I read the story. They say that they rebuilt exactly the same way, but with new materials.
I say it's the same building that was always there.
Yeah. By the way, as you can see, there was nothing, but maybe all this was underground.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I bet that's gold too.
And again, these magnificent
See,
organs.
what I see when I see this kind of stuff, I don't see people that are at war. You know what I mean? Like, there was no, you can't be building shit like this if you're at war and stuff like this. And it also seemed like maybe there wasn't any classes. We're led to believe there was the slave class and the lower class and the royals or the elites or whatever, or the Roman citizens and everything. The old world to me looks like there was equality across the board. There wasn't a tier system in society.
Yeah, for me,
Too magnificent for that. You know what I mean?
yeah, you cannot be at war while building all these magnificent things, because you're always in a fight or flight mode. You cannot think straight. And
Well, dude, these people don't even know what to do with dynamite. They're throwing bombs around and stuff, and yet they supposedly build all this stuff, and they're going to build it all back up when they're done, but they can't figure out dynamite and stuff.
I'm trying
Or roads.
I'm trying to remember where I put the patch. We were showing like volcanoes. Yeah, maybe it's I know I have it somewhere.
Take your time. You're looking for the bomb patches?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really cool. Yeah, people are tiny in comparison to most of this stuff. The people never match the surroundings.
Shit, I don't think I've classed it somewhere.
I was watching Bill Miller Flip had his most recent video, and in it, it's a black and white video, but you see like trolley cars. They have trolley cars and stuff. I think it's around 1907 or 8 or something. And all of a sudden you see this horse with the cart and it's loaded down with like rocks. And this horse is just carting this cart along with these rocks on it. And I thought to myself, like, how did they haul around all these bricks before, there was, trucks and trains and all this stuff like that? I mean, the old world is chock full of brick buildings everywhere. And we're supposed to believe that in muddy roads and stuff, they're hauling these like cart after cart after cart with horses and everything all around. It's just, and bricks, they can shift and stuff. They fall on the ground. Sometimes they break and everything. I mean, these are like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Look, you can see that the same structure that I just showed you that were bombed. They say here that this thing was carved, but you can clearly see bricks everywhere around this place.
Yeah, and look at the terracing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can see like A-frames in the mountain still.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah. Another place like this.
I bet that goes down further.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But no, that's not what I wanted to show, but continue.
I remember that picture, Aurora. It was a long time ago. I had that up on my other channel. I think Ceiling Fan Man was on with us. There was a huge horse with a cart. The people were so small. This horse was giant. I don't know how they were getting on this horse. And the cart was full of like giant vegetables and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think this is from San Francisco.
This does not look like a fire to me. I don't see any fire damage anywhere here. I mean, I've seen fires. A house
Yeah.
When I was a little girl, a house around the corner from me caught on fire. Actually, it was actually firebombed. And, there's scorch marks and flame marks everywhere. Here, it just looks like it was bombed.
Yeah, look, this guy.
Oh, look at the guy with the hand in the jacket.
Yeah, this guy with the hand in the jacket. And look at this guy. Looks like Abe Lincoln.
Dude.
But Abe Lincoln was dead at this time,
These are photo ops. These guys knew the picture was going to be taken.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no accident that guy's standing there with his hand hidden in his jacket. Somehow this guy's top hat survived without a scratch on it. It's even shiny.
Yeah. Not this. It's just another. It's how they blur. Look how they cut out all the sky on this picture. You see it?
Oh, yeah. They photoshopped this.
Yeah. This is what they call whiteout.
Wow.
They used to do it a lot because I talked with my cousin, and my cousin studied like 10 years, maybe 25 years ago, photography. And he used to do they say they use the students to make record of old pictures, because with they called enlargers. You can take a picture of an old picture. You take a picture of an old picture and make a new negative. So you have a new negative of the picture itself, and then you can change it everywhere, because they had to when they took the picture, if they're like let's say that this is faded, they just drew it on the picture, and they take a picture of the picture to make a new picture. So the new picture, it's like Photoshop, This is how they used to do it. So
those sneaky bastards.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, go back a picture. Go back a picture.
Which one? This one?
Right there. What's that? That's melted as fuck.
That's some cave somewhere. New
Wow.
Zealand. Yeah. This guy, I'm searching for a specific picture that. Not this one. I think I just go out. It'll be easier. This is that like another shore that was bombed. Because you were talking about photo ops. No, look. Yep, this one.
Oh my gosh, look at
Yeah,
that.
this is the Tower of Babel.
Wow.
But the photo op. Oh, this is just what they do to go. Look, what the means they took. Look, Jen, another. I just found another prison
Aren't
ship. Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
But look at all these people going to the shore.
Wow.
But this is what they used to destroy the cities, you know? These kind of weapon that they
Right.
had really early. Before 1940s, they had this like we showed in the early 1900s.
In the World's Fairs, they even were displaying them.
Yes, yes. Look at all these boats in the background.
Wow.
But I want to show you the what they went through just to go and destroy buildings, you know?
I love that one. That one looks like a volcano with a city popping out of it.
Yeah, this is the one in Palmyra.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And you can see
What's
here.
up, Holistic Media? Welcome.
Look the road they have to take and bring all these tanks just to go to the remote place to destroy it, you know?
Wow.
This.
Oh, God. Go back to that skull.
Yeah.
Come on. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Let's zoom in on this. I can pick this apart, no problem. What is going on here? Is this guy? Has he got a mask on?
No, just a skull on top of his gun.
No, but like, let's zoom in though on this skull because I have something to say about it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, let's just look at this skull. I mean, it looks like it's pretty old. There's nothing on it, right?
No skin left, no. All white out from the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Because to have a skull like this, you know what? You need to boil everything out, you know? And it's not even gonna be white. It's gonna be like yellowish. So.
Wow.
But this is the kind of photo op, you know.
Why are they posing like that? Why do they all look like they're like in like swimsuit beauties or something laying here on the floor? Like zoom in on these, whatever they are. I mean,
already in.
a little femme fatale, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, who's gonna lay there like that? Look at this guy in the front here. He's all like got his arm over his ass and stuff, and he's just like snuggling up to that other guy. I mean,
remember this guy and this guy, how they are positioned, you know. And look at this, you know, they had no racial everybody was in it. But look, this is another place that you can see. They're all the same.
They're always laying around. I went through all these war pictures with Ceiling Fan and on my own, and everyone, they're all laying around doing nothing. I don't know what's going on with war, but there's a lot of downtime apparently.
Yeah.
And none of them look dirty. They all got shiny boots and nice uniforms.
They are all the same guy. This is the practice one, you know.
Yeah.
The practice picture.
Wow.
Yeah. You can see that they are the same guys.
That's creepy as fuck. Yeah. I'm sorry. It just is. War. What war?
Yeah, what war?
That's melted.
Yeah. The next pictures are all like melted stuff. But what else did I wanted to show?
You got to show the patches.
Oh yes, sorry.
That's okay. I want to get to the patches, and I have some stuff I want to show soon too. I'll probably be able to stay on until 8:30. Again, look at that, guys. Go back to that picture. It looks like a volcano, right? What you call a volcano with a fucking city popping out of it.
Yeah, if you just take out all the castle in it, it would be a volcano.
Exactly, and they would label it as one. I'm surprised they left this one alone like that.
They tried to destroy it. They couldn't, because everything around it is all destroyed. Look at this place.
Look at that. Is that an obelisk in the center of it? What's in the center? It looks like a giant obelisk.
I think it is, or a giant chimney, but I can't read where it is.
That's crazy looking, that thing. Can we go in on it?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Look at this, guys. What? And that looks like a volcano rim too. I mean, if you just delete out that center part, you know, you look like you're looking at Vesuvius or something.
Yeah, I would say it may be a meteor crater or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Earth nipples.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that, because there is a hill around here that we call, at least I do, the nipple.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, I think this is the same Palmyra one. Yeah. But again, the other side, you can clearly see that it could be a volcano.
Absolutely. Bill, I see Bill's here. Bill Miller Flip. I just was talking about your most recent video. I love your work. You do really good work. I love the way you put your videos together. Very classy stuff. And in your latest video, there was a horse with a cart full of rubble going across the screen. And I thought to myself, gosh, you know, back in the day, they would have had to have carts and carts and carts of brick, you know, hauling them across these bumpy, muddy roads.
Here you can see inside this mountain, there are buildings again. I don't know where it is. Palmyra. Sorry, I'm just going through these.
We have 51 people here. Welcome,
And
everybody.
this is so telling, you know. It really looks like a mountain, but this is the pyramid in the. It's a Mayan pyramid or Incan. I don't.
Yeah, it's definitely a pyramid for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe it's it's the pyramid of the moon and the sun. That's what that is. Teotihuacan.
Yeah, that's it. Before they just clean it up. Yeah.
Wow.
And this place. This is Athens again with the tower. It was a castle. It wasn't Greek or anything. Okay, so I have to find this patch. And here, I found it funny. Look, it's all cannonballs, but there's nothing.
I remember looking at this with you before. Yeah, it's little cannonballs, but there's nothing there. Wow.
Again, this is just things I research.
Now look at that. That's just like the same thing we saw, minus the city up top.
Yeah, but I think this is on Vesuvius.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is this? You know.
Let me get my magnifying glass. You might have to zoom in.
Yeah, I can.
What is that?
I think this is a picture from a picture from a picture from a book.
A picture from a book.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wait a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to repost our volcano video where we show all the ways they can make volcanoes and bombing them and stuff. That was a really good show. That's my favorite one, the melted pyramid there.
You know, this pyramid is the Black Pyramid.
The Black Pyramid, yeah. We did a show on it. I did a whole stream on the Black Pyramid.
I'm not sure, but look what it says on the.
What's it say? The pyramid unburnt bricks? A
Yes.
pyramid of unburnt bricks? What?
A
What?
pyramid of burnt bricks. Yeah.
Their words, not mine. It's a pyramid of melted bricks, if you ask me. Which would have been called a mountain if they melted it down more, and then we would just say it was a mountain of melted bricks.
Yes.
Because a mountain is a description of something, like a mountain of debt, a mountain of shit, a mountain of money, all this kind of stuff. A mountain is not a thing, it's a description of a thing.
Look at this Tower of Babel, but look, Jen, it's all
And it
melted.
looks melted there. Yes, I saw that one before. Yep. Very interesting.
I'm sorry, I'm just going on to my.
I know it's been forever since we live streamed.
Just again trying to shoot out things. Again, these photo ops, they're just.
We're always looking for the war. We can never find the war, but we can find plenty of people going to war, right? They're heading to the war. They're leaving the war, and they're usually sitting around laying down and doing nothing, reading papers, writing home.
Destroying stuff and digging stuff because look, they have shovel and pickaxes. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is the picture I wanted to show you. It's coming up, and you see like they have shovels and they're just digging out this train track.
Yeah, let's zoom in on that. So they're not laying the tracks; they're digging it out.
Yeah, because they don't have any materials; they just have shovels.
The devil's in the details.
You can see that.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's still covered. Yeah.
Yeah, still covered. But the only thing they have is shovels.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Again, look, there's destroying remains.
Yep.
Of a mountain, but probably was a building. And another photo op, the same guys. Same guys I showed you before.
Yeah, just hanging around. Look, they don't even look dirty. Look at them.
No, because this is the same place. They went there, they took the photo, and then they bombed it. And if the bomb didn't do the job, they went and broke in themselves.
Look at this shit.
The rest of
These
it.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They did after to hide the story, It's just crazy. Again, Palmyra, all destroyed. I've got a good picture of this is the ziggurat.
So I'm gonna have to start sharing my stuff here soon. But you couldn't find those bomb patches?
I don't know where they are.
Okay, well if you find them along the way towards the end, we'll bring those back up.
Yeah,
that would be cool. All right, let me see what I got lined up here.
Oh, you can just stop my.
Oh yeah, I got it. Oh. You're still on, I think.
Yeah, I want to change the. Oh yeah, I have still this newsbender stuff.
Oh, the newsbenders. Why don't you bring that up real quick and we'll get into that?
Yeah, it's. I have written a couple of.
All right, I'm bringing you back up.
Because we need to listen to it, I have to share with sound because I didn't. But it's a 30-minute video, but I have it's some dates at a time stamp that I wrote. It's from 9 minutes to 23, so it's about 15 minutes. So I don't know if.
All right, let's try to do that on the back end of stuff. We'll hit that. I got to get into some of my screen shares.
Go ahead.
So let me see here. I'm just going to bring up my first thing down here. First, I want to show this. Let me get into this screen share. Okay. Hold on a second. 1 second.
I'll just look at the chat because I didn't have time really. Hi, everyone.
What? Earlier you saw when you gave me that, right? Okay, that's fine. Sorry, guys. I had to check on something real quick. Okay, so let me see here. We got 48 people. Look, I lost a few.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into this. Okay, screen share. All right, so let me make sure everybody can see this before I get into it.
That Steffi made this for you, you know? It's really nice. Your background.
Oh, yes, I love it, Steph. Thank you so much. I'm using your background. I texted her earlier and told her I was going to use it. Yeah, I love that. She did really good on that. All right, guys, so you can see this here. This is my new collage of Meltology shirts with everybody having their shirts on. So you got Chapoo. That's my son there in the middle, Ryan. And then Deborah, the red brick chick. We have Patty here, Steve Fennerin, and Kevin here as well, all sporting their shirts. You guys look great. I just wanted to show that off. And Chapoo put the collage together for me. You did such a good job. Thank you, Chapoo.
No problem.
Okay, we're going to get into this Oracle of Bay. I can't even say the word. Bahia. And this is just across from Vesuvius on the other side of Naples, I believe. Some people were saying it was directly below Vesuvius, but it's actually about, I want to say, 40 to 60 miles away from Vesuvius. So I have some pictures to show you guys. Let me get into some of this here. Entering the atrium. Let me see what's over here. Okay, we'll just do this entering the atrium first. If it'll come up for me. Let's see if it comes up. So this is where the Oracle supposedly went in here and would, get high off the fumes or whatever they say and come back out with all this, futuristic stuff and everything. But as you can see here, this is more structure that goes underground. This is near Vesuvius, but not at Vesuvius location. This was just recently discovered, and they've gone in here. You can see brick patterns here, right up in here. You see it goes down. It's a very narrow corridor because I think it's melted in on itself. When the guy goes through it, it's very narrow, these walls. You can see here how narrow it is. It says the Serena Aqueduct, which runs over the Great Atrium, was ruined in the 472 AD Palena volcanic eruption. Centuries of water cascaded down. So there's that it was damaged due to a volcanic eruption, of course. But look here, guys. Look over here. You can see how it goes down. You can see the brickwork here. You can really see good brickwork right in here. And in this section here, of course, you can see it by his head and everything. But you can see, just like in the caves that those guys go in and in the mines and stuff, it's all brick, just like what you see in England and everything. And it goes down pretty far. And this goes all underground into a supposed river system. Here, I like this picture here because you can really see the meltage. You can see how it was melting over itself. This is probably some kind of column or pillar or something.
Yeah.
And then I want to go to the next one here. Hold on. Behind the cliffs. Let's see what this one is.
Reminds me of this place. Jen?
You want to screen share real quick?
Yes. Just
Okay.
like you showed up.
Give me 1 second. My stuff's not loading. Okay. Let me come out of screen share real quick. All right, go ahead.
You see
There
it?
we go. I just clicked on it. It's coming up now.
Okay. What you showed, like below, it reminds me like this city street. You know, if it was all melted and covered, it looks exactly like this.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Look.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. If you cover this with the melt, you got the same stuff.
Same.
Yeah. And this is the city in Italy. So
In Italy
far.
too. This is.
Yep. Same
All right.
place.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I want.
That was good, Chapu. Very good comparison. We might even have to make some comparison pictures up of that one.
Yeah.
Share screen. Here we go. All right. And get this thing to scroll here. Okay, so here where we're at, we can see Vesuvius in the background here. This is supposed to be Vesuvius. Here we can see brick line patterns here in this muffed up wall that look identical to the wall that I saw sticking out of the ground at Mount Chiha. Have pictures of it to show you guys too.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it.
Oh, and where was it on here? Okay, hang on. There's another spot I want to show you guys. This is the interior chambers. Let me see here. Here again, you can see how narrow and high up these carved out, supposedly, tunnel systems are. I mean, this would be like for like a 12-foot high person, not your average human being, maybe even taller than that. All right, here's another one. Over here, you can see the brick layers. It says, "Does a passage lead here at the back off of the Greek temple?" Again, here you can see these cooked out brick patterns here.
Yep.
You can even see. Yeah, you can see these would be parallel running mortar lines. Okay, this would be where the bricks would be in here. And you see these parallel running mortar lines everywhere all over Mount Chiha where I was today. But yeah, nobody carved this. This is not natural. And as you go up it, you can see how the brick even turns white up here and stuff. It's all cooked out.
Oh, yeah.
They say that this stuff's all carved.
Yeah, with the brick, you can still see the red of the brick.
Yep. That's great. So as you can see, when you look forward down here, there's this goes down underground once you go down this passage here. All right, let me go to the next one here. There's another one here, the Great Atrium. Hiding of the Ways. There was another one I wanted to show you here. Oh. Tunnel Discovery? Maybe it was this one.
Did you have time to look at the new YouTube channel of Brick Truth?
I don't think I had time to look at it.
Oh, she made.
I might have glanced over it. So much stuff has happened in the last week and a half. I can't
she found really good evidence of bricks turning into stone and.
Oh, I can't wait to see that then. Yeah, absolutely. Because there are people out there that don't understand that bricks turn to stone, the regular old stones you find outside. All right. So it says Baea had occasionally revealed Roman structures such as Aphrodite of Baea, however you say that word, which was supposedly Baea, supposedly excavated there sometime before 1803. The site on the volcanic hillside at Baea was first extensively excavated by Armando Marauri, an Italian archaeologist, of course, famous for his archaeological excavations at Pompeii and Herculaneum.
Oh, really?
Imagine that. Yeah, we can trust him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just check this out here, okay? Look at this fucking town. First off, it's all muffed up and cooked out, okay? There's that. But then look, it goes, here you can start to see the terracing of the buildings all the way up. Look at all this terracing right here. Look at it, all the way up. And I have a better picture after this one. Look at it.
Oh, yeah.
It's terraced all the way up. All the way, everything.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of this terracing even around Agashima, that supposed volcanic island. Again, here you can see it's all brick and stuff. So they bricked up some of it and carved the rest of it, right? Is that what's going on here? I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what they say.
And it goes way, way underground, this whole thing. Oh, is that a brick right there? Look. Look, there's a brick right there.
Oh, yeah. That's all bricks. Yeah.
Wow, look at this. Look at how muffed up it is down here, guys. Look at how squished down and muffed up this brick is. It almost looks like slate, okay? Think of all the slate mines we've looked at. Slate. It's just squished down, cooked out brick. That's all it is. You'd pick up one of these rocks on the side of the road and be like, oh, what's this? Well, it used to be a brick. That's what it used to be. Okay, there was another picture of that site down here, I think. Maybe it was down here a little bit. There was supposed to be a better picture of that mountain thing I just showed you. Right here. I thought there was another picture of it. Maybe not. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that, especially the terracing, because I found that to be very, very interesting. I really thought there was another picture, but I guess there isn't. I'm kind of not happy about that. But I'm going to go back over here to Facebook because we got a lot of stuff to look at. Okay, so here, we're going to look at this. Let me play this. It's this 20-mile long pre-flood, supposedly pre-flood wall found in Texas. Okay, so let's just look at this real quick if it'll play for me. Let me see here. I don't know if it will or not. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to play.
Artificial nature, its possible age predictably made a number of people in the academic world deny its artificial or.
Sorry, is it echoing? Okay, this is a good part right here. Okay, so this is a rock wall in Texas. I won't even.
In favor of a far less likely scenario involving natural formation.
Hang on a second, guys. It's not pausing for me. Okay, you can see this rock wall in Texas, what it looks like. It goes down.
Although magnetic exploration suggested that the rock wall.
Sorry, it just keeps playing on me. It just keeps on playing. So just keep this in mind, this rock wall that is embedded in the ground. Nobody knows who put it here, you know, but they're admitting it's a wall and it was built. And then under it, I have, well, here. The wall that I just found sticking out of the ground on Mount Chiha today. Let me get this picture to come up. If I can open up these comments. Everything's getting glitchy on me. Oh, do you believe this? I don't even know what it just did. Hold on. I just love
Over 100.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Because I just found that the picture. I posted a video about this Texas wall.
Okay. All right, hang on. Let me get my page to freaking load. Let me close this thing out here. Guys, you're going to love this. As soon as I can get it to work. As soon as I can get it to work. Facebook is just acting all sketchy on me right now. Look, it won't even take me to my profile. There we go. And I just need it to load now. That would help. All right, here we go. Oh, my allergies are starting to kick up. Okay, that's me and my mom right there last year. I was a little high in that picture. You can kind of see it in my eyes. Sorry. I smoked up a joint with my mom. All right, let's get down here to this frickin' rock wall thing. Okay, so that's there. Now let me show you this other comment here. If I can get the frickin' thing to just open. Come on.
What's that?
It's the picture. I don't know why it won't open a fucking comment, but the first comment is the picture of my rock wall that I found. And it just won't open. Do you believe this, motherfucker? Yeah. Look, it's not even loading. Thanks, Facebook.
Yep.
All right.
Did it work? Yeah.
Yeah. It opened, but it didn't load the freaking picture. There it is. Okay, let me zoom in on it. Now just think of this rock wall you just saw up here. Okay, guys? You see it? You see this thing? I just played the video a tiny bit. You saw that little spot there, right? Look at this. Mount Chiha. Just sticking out of the freaking ground. But that's supposed to be natural? But this up here, oh, sorry. Up here is an admitted built rock wall. 20-mile long pre-flood wall. They're not saying those are sedimentary layers. What's this? Yeah, boom, baby.
Yeah, it's the same formations.
And then I have this one I wanted to show you guys because this goes right along with it. Again, they like to say these things are sedimentary layers. These are cliffs in Ireland. Jackwagon geologists will tell you are cliffs. Okay, look at this stuff. Oh, what happened? Jeez. When that happens, my gosh, what's everything messing with? Look at this thing out in the water here. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this thing. That's crazy looking. Sedimentary layers. It looks like it's all melted on the top, coming down over here. Even.
Oh, yeah.
Looks very the same sedimentary layers you see in the rim of Vesuvius and all these volcanoes. Even Mauna Loa, you will see the same. What they say are mineral layers, but these are actually brick layers, building layers. Let's look down here a little bit on this part here. I thought this was interesting. It looks like there could be an opening right there, like a square window right here. I'm not sure about that with the shadowing, but yeah, you can see the melt factor going on. And then I had a thought when I saw that, because I had a little video. If God only knows if this is going to come up. Where the hell did I do? I sent it to myself. Well, where do you see this shit, guys? If it'll open for me. Okay. Where is it up here? Okay, so first off, you have scientists follow a yellow brick road in never before seen Pacific Ocean shot. Okay, they're showing this here. Hold on. Oh gosh, it's not. So it looks like a brick road, right? Right here. You can see it. I'm not going to play the video right now.
Yes.
Looks just like my brick wall right here. And then you had, oh God, where is it? Where did I send it to? Like maybe I didn't send it to myself. Oh, this is fervent heat. Let me go back to me here. Jeremy, just you. Here I am. It's like I click on my name and something else comes up. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Holy crap. I really hate it when this shit happens. Look, it went to Steve. Steve. We'll just sit here and read all my fucking messages. All right, well, that's not going to work. It's a 3D. You know what? I'm going to send it to you, Shapu.
Yeah, you will.
Why won't it let me open my freaking shit? This is where I start cursing. So if you don't like curse words, you need to leave the building. All right, something's happening here. They're like, no, we can't let her show this stuff. I have a lot of pictures to go through too. My gosh, I'm probably going to have a phone call soon from my hubby. We'll have to make a part 2 to this live stream.
Well, Jen, you can go and come back maybe if you want.
I could go and come back, and you can have the screen to yourself while I go. Yeah.
Yeah, I could play like the news bender thing. It's like 30 minutes.
That would be perfect. I just don't know why oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, 3D printer technology. Okay, now why is the picture not coming up? All right, let me see if I can open it up in YouTube. So you just saw these cliffs things here. If it'll open back up, right? Okay, look, see this, right? It looks so similar to this 3D print technology stuff that they're using now to build things like houses and complexes and stuff.
Yeah, it goes
So I don't
on
want you to
layers.
say, yeah, I'm not even going to listen to what this guy has to say. He just talks for a minute about their new amazing technology. Somewhere in Canada, they're going to start building homes with this stuff. And look, it's just not going to fucking load for me. Yeah, duh. I know it's not responding. I can tell. Thank you very much. Ugh, Chapeau, I'm dying here. I can't believe this thing's not working. I'm just going to close it out.
You would send it to me.
Well, it opened for me, so I thought I was good, but apparently I'm not. So I'm going to just send it to you. What the hell is it? All right, here we go, Chapeau. I'm sending it over to you now. There we go. I'll come out of screen share. Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, I was trying. Okay.
Okay, I'll just add to share. No sound, doesn't matter.
No sound. We don't need sound. I just want you guys to pay attention to what's in the background behind him and how similar it looks to what we're seeing in this layering of brick and stuff. Okay, so yeah, I mean, look at that. Even if you just pause it, we can just look at behind them. Oh, hold on. Phone's ringing. Yeah, go answer the phone. Okay, so yeah, I'm just saying there's a similarity there. You can see it even looks almost like a brick pattern in a way. And we see this continuous layering of brick and stuff everywhere. I'm just pointing out a similarity. You know, it just kind of like was like, wow, look at this. You know, because some people say like, could our world have been 3D printed? Who made all these bricks? Why is it everywhere we see this concentric layering everywhere? These are not sedimentary layers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, so I have to go pick up my husband, and you already have the screen share. So you want to get your thing ready, and we'll play that? Because you said it takes about like good 15, 20 minutes, right?
It's 28 minutes, the old video, so I can play it in its entirety, I guess.
Okay, do you want to use you're going to mute out, right?
Well, stop. I'll just share with sound first. Because I didn't. Just give me the share screen again.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to mute out.
Yeah, me too. So everybody gonna listen to like a 30-minute video. It's pretty interesting. And it's gonna tell you how the news really works. And we'll see each other after. So take this time to have a break or just listen. Pretty interesting.
We're told we're here at 3. It's after 10 past. He is in, isn't he? One of the big boys wants to see. He always pulls the same trick. Sends you at 3 and sees you at 3:15.
Mr. Larkin to see you, J.G.
Sorry to keep you. Sit down, Mr. Larkin.
Thank you.
Do you smoke these things?
King of Kings, sir.
Yes. Very surprised we got you to come here, Mr. Larkin.
Well, I couldn't see what the CWNS would want with me. Still can't.
Do you know anything about us?
Oh, I heard one or two things when I was working with the BBC.
What'd you hear?
CWNS set up midway between the government and the TV companies. Anytime the newsreel boys put out stuff with security classification, wars, weapons, political leaks, they get their film through this office.
What do we know about you? Larkin. Robert Santor.
Yes, it's a family name.
Good family. Good education. But you turned your back on all that, didn't you? Tried a little bit of everything. 1955, you wrote some plays for the BBC, then worked for them as a story editor. 1961, you got a 3-year contract as a director, which you didn't renew.
Oh, the BBC weren't paying money.
Well, you're in the money now, aren't you? In 1968. There's your flat in Holland Park, your cottage in Hampshire, 2 children.
And a dog and a cat who commute with us to the country at weekends. Well, maybe you knew that already.
6 years ago, there were those shows you did on alcoholism, blood sports, slum clearance. People called you bright, very bright. There were other words they used.
Hard-hitting, vital.
Now you do only 4 shows a year. The critics call them brilliant. They're high in the ratings, and they're soufflés. Little soft in the center. Don't think I'm complaining.
Oh, you can complain if you want to.
Just call it a friendly professional interest. I'd like to know what happened to alcoholism and blood sports.
Call it reaching the age of 35. Call it school fees, 2 fixed addresses. Call it joining the establishment. Call it being a socialist for 15 years in a country that'll never be socialist.
Good. There's your wife, Rachel. You married the girl next door. Your 2 children, Rebecca and Daniel, nice little family. 3 years ago, you got yourself a girlfriend. It was serious.
Where the hell did you get that from? Just tell me where it stops.
Lasted for 18 months. Your wife never knew about it, even when you nearly decided to leave her.
Who are you? It's the initials JG, that's all I know. Never met you before in all my life.
July the 25th, 1966. You finally decided to break it off with this woman. You said you loved her. You said you loved your children. It was 2 against 1. You had to add it up like that. Sorry, your cigar. It's burning my desk.
Sheila told you all this?
We have ways of finding things out.
But why? If it's blackmail, the thing won't hold water. It's all in the past. Oh, there'd be pain, of course, for Rachel and the children. But you wouldn't get anything else out of it.
No, it isn't blackmail. We've just been interested in you for a long time.
Interested?
You went back to your wife because you said it was 2 against 1. I call that very responsible. We're interested in very responsible people. In fact, we have a little index for them. We call it their power quotient, a ratio of responsibility as against aggression. Yours is very low, 0.2. That's very low. That's what we need. Sit down. Please. I'm sorry, the language must seem rather strange at first, but we take it very seriously. Just to show you how seriously, I'm going to tell you how we checked up on you. We call these things surgical transmitters. One was fitted inside you when you went into the Charing Cross Hospital 3 years ago. Appendix, wasn't it?
Transmitter? Are you trying to tell me that you listen to every word I say?
A machine does. Untouched by human hand. There's a little gadget in these things that ties up with the pulse rate. Puts a bleep onto anything that you're excited about saying. British.
Power quotient, surgical transmitters, high-speed tape. It's Doctor Who. I'm for the real world, Jack. Good afternoon.
I should just have to give you an example. On July the 26th, 1966, you were talking to this girl, Sheila, about love. You said to her, I quote, "The kind of love I have for you, Sheila, well, it's bed love and it's more. It's staying in bed till 6 p.m. and saying I can't go to the office today. It's eating breakfast at twilight, laughing at leaves on the pavement."
I don't believe there's any such thing as these surgical transmitters. You got Sheila to tell you all this, then you wrote it down the way I might have said it. You're a good guesser.
Can you hear your heart beating?
It's eating breakfast at twilight, laughing at leaves on the pavement, getting a cab to a silly movie to Paris. It's moving when you're tired of staying still. And I've done it all before when I could do it with no ties. Now to just be irresponsible.
So there really is one of those things inside me. What do you want?
We want people with low power quotients. We want them to work for us. Nothing more sinister than that.
All this just to offer me a job.
Special sort of job. The newspapers talk about the corridors of power, the power elite. Let's just say we'd like you to join the club.
Oh.
There's a vacancy in our newsreel department. We'd like you to help plan the news for 1973.
Come again?
Plan the news for 1973. What are you doing?
I just want to make sure the sunlight's real.
I always tell people, news is the most highly developed form of fiction. The most difficult. Come on. I just want to show you something. There's no obligation to buy. Really. News requires imagination. News requires responsibility. We think you're well qualified. Please.
Double A security, sprinkler systems and other services do not operate beyond this point.
$1973. We've only roughed out the news for 1973. Nothing's been given the go-ahead yet, but this is the kind of thing we have in mind. Come.
Today, April 14th, 1973. First historic pictures by Radstar of the combined U.S.-Russian landing on the moon. Shown here are Majors Webb and Mikhailovich taking their first steps into the unknown, firing their retro rockets to land their spacecraft on the dust-covered surface. A comforting note for us stay-at-homes, both the Pentagon and the Kremlin have announced that the moon has no strategic value.
A comforting note for us to stay at home. I can't show you any film on this next model. We haven't photographed it yet. But this is the way it will sound.
June the 22nd, 1973. The State Department releases film of the ultimate weapon, codenamed Icarus. This satellite is equipped with a solid reactor. In layman's terms, it can freeze air solid, stopping all missiles, killing all forms of life. Icarus orbits at the same speed as the Earth, can hang in position over every major city that threatens the peace-loving nations.
Rather proud of this one. Come on. Please, sit down, Mr. Lappin.
September the 5th, 1973. A new phase in global warfare. War by example. At 4:32 our time, China took out the remote Indian border village of Bandar, unprotected by the Icarus network. After the first 2 5-megaton H-bombs had fallen, the 9-way hotline finally
Switch it off.
effect. But
This is going to happen in 1973. You're going to make this happen?
No. We're going to make models, much cheaper. Then we photograph the models.
Fake newsreels?
That's fake newsreels. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake newsreels and listening to our fake commentaries.
And they accept it for the truth. And you can do it. Stop 100 people in the street. How many of them have actually seen a missile or a satellite? They're just told they exist and they believe it.
Yeah, you're getting there. I knew you would.
Well, now the moon rocket and the satellite, that you can get away with. That's too remote for people to grasp. It's too far away. But this... I mean, you invented this village on the Indo-Chinese border.
Oh, yes.
Well, somebody could check up.
Very mountainous territory up there. There'll be no survivors in 1973. No rescue work. Radiation scare.
Yes. You can do it. This could be the news for 1973.
Not necessarily exactly like this. We only plan in detail 1 year ahead.
Oh, you only plan 1 year ahead.
Hey, tell me, what is the news item that's bothered you the most in the past year, 1967?
Oh, well, it has to be the new American intercontinental ballistic missile, the Boy Wonder, doesn't it?
Just the one I asked him to set up for you. The new ICBM, codename Boy Wonder, with a much talked about Mercury warhead. I haven't any special effects up here, but perhaps with the proper sound. Blast off. And Robert Larkin, television director, high IQ, 35 years old, is scared. Scared by nothing. It doesn't work. It's a scientific impossibility. The same goes for the much talked about Mercury warhead. Perspex.
Well, if this rocket doesn't work, then the others?
They have a fireworks party at Cape Kennedy almost every other day. Well, you didn't really believe there were all these things whizzing about up there, did you? Sputniks and rockets. Astronauts crossing their legs for 8 days.
How long has this been going on?
Since Hiroshima.
And the H-bomb, you mean, that doesn't work either?
Right. Dirty.
Very, very dirty.
What was your first reaction? Relief. Oh, yes. Yes, it has to be relief. Only 12 people are allowed beyond this point. Most of them work in the photographic department, taking phony newsreel pictures of our models and processing film and so on. Sit down, please. Ah, pretty pictures from our stills department. The Boy Wonder.
Do you really think that missiles and satellites a mile out of country?
No, not at all. I've only shown you the hard news. There are other things, much softer things we thought might interest you.
Well?
1973, we thought it might be time for an anti-teenage movement. A long-awaited return to maturity. Sheriff. Perhaps even a religious revival.
Oh, I see. You want me to arrange the grand opening of Ruislip Cathedral, 1st of October, 1973. Mark the date down in my 10-year diary.
We are very serious about you. There are things about you we like very much. Qualities you have to offer. Qualities that we perhaps don't possess at the moment.
That's great.
Our file on you. I have to return to July the 25th, 1966, the day you broke it off with this girl, Sheila. You really did reveal rather a lot of yourself that day. But of course, if you really mind...
Help yourself.
You said to her, it won't work, Sheila, and she said something, and then you said...
You remember I went away with Rachel and the kids to the seaside? It was midweek and this huge stretch of sand was empty. Just a circle of footprints around 3 sand castles and tracks out to sea. The whole damn day of my family marked out in front of me. The sun was going down. Rachel kept calling the kids to get dressed. She picked up buckets and spades, corny bloody things like that. I was up at the car. I looked at those footprints, and I knew those people were slipping away. There were things I could tell them.
We rather like that bit about footprints. You see, in this job, some of us have got rather a long way away from the idea of footprints in the sand.
Those footprints were made by my children. Now, you want me to scare the hell out of them with every bomb from A to H inclusive. Well, why? I mean, when did it all start?
1945. You may remember the Americans let off their 2 atomic bombs. Well, they didn't want other people doing the same thing. I mean, you do see that, don't you?
Oh, I don't know.
Scare the people off. The Americans put it up, and the atomic bomb was halfway along the line to something much bigger, the hydrogen bomb. It didn't work. They spent 5 years in negative research.
Well, what about the Russians? They're supposed to have quite a pile of these things.
We were surprised when they started their tests. Then we got a few feelers from their Secret Service. Nowadays, we work very closely together. Oh, all these stories about spies going off to Russia. Mr. Philby, remember? Just good copy for the Sunday papers.
Good copy. Well, the Chinese. I mean, they've just announced their bomb.
Yeah, we played along with it. We recorded their phony explosion. We're rather hoping the Chinese will come along, complete the pattern, you know.
In Vietnam, hundreds of people are being killed every week. Well, you can't do that with your models.
No. And you can't kill people of bad habits in 2 generations. They like to carry rifles. They like to put lines on maps. And we let them because we control the situation. There's no danger of world war. Just a simple choice for everybody. Capitalism or communism. Strawberry or vanilla. It all adds up to the same thing now we've got rid of the big bangers.
But how can you be sure that Johnson, Kosygin aren't working on other things? Poison gases, bacteria.
Pathetic, man of your intelligence. You don't want to destroy the world. Neither do I. What makes you think that presidents are different?
Well, they've made some pretty good stabs at it in the past.
It wasn't the right sort of control then. Nowadays, we know better. Politicians are easy to control. The grosser mentality boys who like to be photographed getting in and out of Daimlers in Whitehall. They come right at the bottom of our organization. A few rungs up the ladder, there are the people in the top secret factories. Just those in a position to know they're making weapons that don't really work.
There must come a time when somebody wants to use one of those weapons. I mean, somebody is standing there with a finger on the button.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Nobody presses the button. We control all the crises. We build them up and we shut them down.
We? Again?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Near the top of the hierarchy, there are the economists, top civil servants, top brass in the military. Those men who are supposed to view the nuclear tests and so on. And above them, CWNS.
Right at the top. Classified World News Service. Just who the hell are you?
It's obvious, isn't it? Just a very few of the top people in communications in every major country in the world.
Oh, you mean you run all these magazines?
No, of course not. We just get them to take some of our copy every week. Television is much more important to us. It all happens so quickly.
You say you can put out what pictures you like on television. Doesn't anybody try to stop you?
No, nobody wants to. 99.386% of the population wouldn't believe this conversation. And the rest are working for us. And they're the top minds, the really responsible people. They know they're guaranteeing the lives of their grandchildren the only foolproof way.
Scaring the hell out of their grandchildren. Well, I won't buy it.
You must admit there has to be some kind of control in this world of ours. Look at this. And remember that 1/4 of the world is starving. There are the full bellies and the empty bellies. Some of the empty bellies carry rifles. Well, we full bellies are getting a bit flabby. We're not very good with rifles anymore, so we've devised 2 ways to keep the empty bellies under control. One of them is this fictitious hydrogen bomb we've talked about. The other one is money. Enough money to fill some of the empty bellies and put a hopeful smile on the faces of the others. A great wall of money all around Britain. And it's no secret that the British economy is in trouble at the moment. So we have to put that right, too, to stay alive. We have to control the people in this country. Scare an ostrich, buries its head in the sand. If you scare a hedgehog, it rolls itself up into a ball. When a woman's frightened, she goes out and buys herself a hat.
You mean you scare us so that we'll buy more, so that money moves quicker, production moves up?
We don't say scare when we talk about human beings. We say threaten them emotionally. And there are all sorts of ways of doing it, not just the big ones like the hydrogen bomb. Overcrowd them a little with bad planning. Sell them too many motor cars. Anything to keep them a little bit removed from reality. Nowadays, people don't work for money. They work for the idea of money. They don't even love for love. They love for the idea of love. They only hate for the idea of hate. It took us 5 years to find a non-addictive drug, one we could pay off against the hard drugs. LSD.
You marketed that?
Oh, yes, of course. And for a very good reason. Some of these protest movements were getting a little bit too close to the mark. LSD gave them nice little hallucinations. Made them talk like 3-year-olds. Throw flowers at policemen. Shall we talk terms?
You're not still going to ask me to work for you?
I'm afraid I've had to put all this rather bluntly. You see, there wasn't really very much time. It must be rather a shock. Well, I mean, most people realize that the world is controlled from about 6 big cities. But it must be rather shocking to learn that a 1/6 of the world is controlled from this building.
You mean you?
Oh, no. I only rate an office on the 7th floor. There are 2 other offices above this one. And a giant computer system. Link number 4 in world control.
A computer?
And what's so remarkable about that? It's just a machine that can store a vast amount of information.
A machine that knows too bloody much.
Now you're being hysterical about it. Computer's very simple. You feed data into it. Anything from the Wall Street closing prices to the North Atlantic weather reports.
And you get decisions. That machine's taken you over.
It's just a machine. Extra hands for the people who know how to control it.
Well, this one above us, it's square in a box.
Yeah, I suppose you could call it square in a sort of a box.
You know why I go away at weekends? To get away from people in boxes. They live in boxes. They get their thoughts, their problems, and their answers out of boxes. And I like to get away at weekends because they're not people anymore. Now, you know all about me, my cottage in Hampshire. But did you know that there's a line of trees that goes right up past the house, and the noise they make is like the sea? Did you know that I find it difficult to sleep in the country? And I like to go and stand in the garden before dawn, and I feel good because I know that my wife and my children are asleep inside. And I like to go out and walk past the wet hedgerows until I can see pasture land and the smoke from the cottages in the
This
village.
may be all very well for one of your grassroots programs, but I'm afraid time is running out. I ought to tell you, we pay a great deal of money. We can afford to. We save such a lot on things like the national defense budget, so on. We would start you off at £250,000 a year.
No.
Rising to £1 million when you make the Ministry of Morality, which I know you will.
Will you let me out of here?
One little point. I should have told you about these surgical transmitters. There's enough of this stuff inside you at this moment to kill 6 people. There's a button we can press. I'm sorry about the dramatics. Our boys call these things the oral contraceptive. Keeps them from talking too much.
So there must be one of those transmitters inside you. Who presses the button? Extra hands. All this stuff about the computer being extra hands for the men who know how to control it. That machine controls you.
You start on Monday.
Early controversial classics from Dennis Potter next weekend with the first of the Nigel Barton plays on Saturday.
So, wow, guys. This is pretty like revealing. They're just telling you how they do it. But nobody knows, like he said. Only like most people will not believe the story, you know. Yeah. They was just deny this, that they can do this, but there's so much evidence that they can, so it's crazy. Yeah, I put the link in the chat so everybody can just go see it and share it. But you know, it passes as a comedic sketch, I guess, in the time, you know. No, there's no button. Nobody wants to kill themselves. No, because it's all, we live in a big system. If you just radiate one place, it should go everywhere, travel everywhere and kill everything. But this is not the case. They're just playing with us. Big theater. I don't know if Jen is back, but I'm trying to find something to show. Maybe I could play like a nice video of a new YouTube channel that everybody should go take a look. It's called Brick Truth. She only have 15 subs.
I'm back.
Oh, hi, Jen.
That was really cool what you were playing, Shapu. I was wondering, did these guys make up the news for 2020 and 2021? Because that seemed like some muffed up fake news that we were dealing with. Truth in movies, fake news, lies in the news.
Yep, exactly.
Crazy stuff. Hold on a second. I gotta get my, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, it really summarizes all that's going on, you know.
Yeah, I only listened to half of it, but it was compelling. I got to listen to the rest of it. I had to turn it off at one point, but wow, I was just like, wow. I never even heard of that movie.
Yeah, it's just some sketch from the, I don't know where, you know. But I've passed on TV because this is the only place they had in 1968, 69. But yeah, 68, yeah. So it's just crazy.
Okay, I'm going to get back into a screen share. Let me go over here. We got 39 people here. Hopefully some people come back. We had 51 when I last looked. All right, hopefully this will come up. I left my phone downstairs, so I can't see the chat right now. Let me know when you guys can see this picture, if it ever loads.
It's loading.
Loading. There it is. Okay, so we're in a mine, supposedly a mine in England. It's one of the oldest mines, and it's last used in the mid-1800s. And they say that this here, what you're looking at, is not melted brick, but calcite deposits. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say it is. And we're going to go to the next picture here. Again, they say that this is calcite deposits. Looks a lot like melted brick to me. I don't know. But I got better pictures. It gets better.
Yeah, but this calcite deposit, it comes from melted bricks. So actually, exactly. could be both.
Hold on. This thing is not working for me, as usual. Get it to go to the next one. Yeah, you saw it. It did it again. Let me go to this picture and try to get it back up again. Facebook and StreamYard never play nice together, guys. You guys know this from watching my stuff plenty of times. But I'm going to get it to work here. This is what I was saying, Shapu. I got to get a better laptop with more processing power or something.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt.
Let me go to the next one. Uh-oh. Okay, look at this, guys. They're saying these are calcite deposits. I mean, it looks like melted brick to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it looks exactly like what Mark showed in kilns. The brick,
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if it'll let me go to the next picture, because I do not know if it's going to let me or not. There we go.
Queen of Swords just asked you if you saw the video she sent you.
Queen of Swords, I want to say yes, I did. I've gotten so many text messages from so many people, and my phone is not in front of me right now. Let me go run down and get it. You guys just look at this picture for a second. Let me go get my phone.
Yeah. So, guys, is it? They don't show the ground. Did they show the ground?
All right. Let me look for your text message, Queen of Swords. Secret government tunnels have seen, few have seen under Dover. Is that the one you're talking about? I believe it is. This is the one you're talking about. I'm going to send this to Shapu, and we're going to show this in a few minutes after I'm done these pictures, because that looked like it was very, very interesting. Thank you so much for that text message. All right, let's see if I can get this other picture here, if it'll let me go. Okay, again, in my book, this is melted brick. In geologist books, I guess this is calcite deposits. It looks like melted brick. Go ahead.
This video we showed it on a couple shows ago. Yeah.
You know, I thought the thumbnail looked familiar. Hold on, let me get this thing to change here. Oh, it did it again to me. Oh, I just love, love, love it when it does that. Where was I? Which one was I on? Go to this one. Alrighty. I don't know if it's going to work. All right, something's happening. All right, here we go. I don't know why it's got to be all glitchy. It's really muffed up. Okay, again, look at it here, guys. Just look at it. Dripping down off the ceiling. Well, Jen, these are stalactites. Are they? That's what geologists say they are.
Yeah.
This looks like some melted, muffed up stuff to me.
Did they show the floor on this one?
It's underwater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're walking through like maybe like a foot and a half of water as they're trekking through this thing. Again, it just looks melted to me. Let's see if it's going to do this. It's probably going to. There we go. Let me go back. Oh, I hate it when these things don't work. It's just not working for me. All right. Well, it's all it wants to show there. Oh, I wanted to show this picture. Steffi made this for me. Steffi Davis. If I can get this to come big. I don't know if it'll work out for me, but she's been making me little oh, look at where it landed me at here. When I click on that.
How did it do that?
I don't know. You saw what I clicked on, dude. I don't know what's going on here. It's like a ghost in the system. I mean, just look at how melty that is. All right, let me see if I can get these things to scroll through. Suddenly, something might be working here for me. Again, it just looks so melted. Go to the next picture. Next picture. Next picture. It's iffy. Iffy if it's going to take me to the next picture. Oh, okay. I give up. But Shapu, I'm going to let you bring up that video.
Oh, yeah, but it's an hour-long video.
It's an hour long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like 2 shows previous to this one, we showed the same video. But I can't show it to remind you which one it is.
Yeah, hold on. I had something else to show here. Okay. Look. Hold on a second. I'm going to share screen. We're going to listen to this guy. Okay, I just found this guy recently. He talks about all biblical stuff, the flood and everything. And he's talking about, gosh, I got to get my head straight here. I've just been running around like crazy. He talks about melted buildings, guys. It's really cool. And in a biblical way and stuff too. So let me do this share screen thing here. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh, shit. I think I just knocked out Shapu. Sorry, Shapu. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, here we go. Gee, you would think I was new at this whole thing here. I'm messing up. Okay, share screen. Let's go over here. Oh, I got to do fucking audio. Gosh.
Man, you're a newbie.
I am so new today. Share screen. And I got to mute out. Let me hit that. Share. Let me mute out. Can I mute? I don't even know if this is good.
It's loading. It's almost there. It's almost there. It's coming up. It's coming up. Oh. Can send it to me, Jennifer. Can send it to Jennifer. You're muted. I can't hear you.
I tried to show this 3 shows ago, and I keep forgetting about it. So I'm going to send it to you, Shapu, because we have to listen to it, and I keep forgetting to listen to play it. So, oh my gosh, jeez, Louise. All right, let me get it here. Sorry, guys. All right, Shapu, I'm going to send it to you. We're going to go to the 12-minute mark, I believe, on this. I wanted to show this like, I don't know, a week ago.
Now's the time. So share with the sound?
Yes. And you have to mute.
Oh, yes, yes.
So we start at the 12-minute mark, and we'll let it play. And I want you to just listen to what this guy has to say, because I don't know who this guy is. I've never heard him before. I come across his work, and I'm like, holy crap, he's talking about melted buildings too. And he's talking about, you know, it in a biblical sense as well, which is very interesting, because one of the main places you find X Factor events is in the Bible. All right, here we go.
The earth that coexists with heaven above and on the earth. New Jerusalem does not come down. They're just on the earth, and that's it. We don't know what happens afterwards. So we know what happens in Revelation and other passages, but I wanted to start with that tonight. All right, I'm dropping in the general voice chat my PDF on melted cities. Now, some of you will have to forgive me. I did do a presentation on this about 3 or 4 months back. I'm going to be going through this again because I've been adding a lot of information to this. And I really want to get the point across that there appears to have been a major fire burning, melting event, a reset event in history. And we're going to be going over the specifics of this. Well, Josh, melted due to fire, well, fervent heat. And we'll be going over the specifics of this. So do follow along. Melted Cities of Our Realm by yours truly, Noel Joshua Hadley. Introduction: Trial by Water, Trial by Fire. It was while writing the 7,000-year timeline deception that I decided to drop a photo of Hosap Castle in Turkey onto one page or another, which it's pictured on top of this page. The idea was to give a visual illustration to 2nd Kepha when the disciple of Yahusha warned of the fire judgment to come. What Kepha was getting at is that the destruction of earth by way of water was a pastime event. Going forward, Yahuwah would be using means of fire to bring about his judgment. As you can hopefully tell, Hosep Castle is a melted structure. But not just Hosep Castle, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this. I'm going to mispronounce a lot of names tonight. I also included several photos of Petra in Jordan. That too has all the markings of a melted city. Some people protested and said
pause it for a second?
Petra were circumstantial evidence.
I want you to drop this link into the chat if you can as well, Shapu, just so other people can listen to it in its entirety. This thing's 2 hours long. This guy is very thorough. He's got a lot of interesting stuff on his channel and stuff like that. So you can watch the whole thing at your own leisure, but we're going to continue now.
at best. Certainly no evidence of a fire reset. My intent, however, was in speaking to those who had already committed to their own research and had seen the overwhelming evidence for a heat index event with their own eyes. All I wanted to do was connect what they had already observed with scripture, and in doing so, whet their appetite. Some people simply refuse to see it, and I can't help them. For those of you who are thirsty for more, I present to you this document, Evidence of Melted Cities. Covering every street corner across our flat, motionless plane is an enormous task, and so this is something which I hope to add to little by little, which I've been doing. I've been putting it off for far too long. But where to begin? Second Kepha seems a good a place as any. And this is what he says. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth which are now, by the same word are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of wicked men. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with Yahuwah as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. Yahuwah is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. 2 Kepha 3:5-10, and that is what I believe we just read in the Revelation, or I'm sorry, the Apocalypse of Elijah. What did we just read? The Apocalypse of Elijah. And and I will comment one more time, because the thing that really seems to just drive people, they won't go any step further, is because they believe that the New Jerusalem has to come down first. But according to that book, the saints were going up to paradise, where heaven was, and back to earth. A little awkward if heaven has come down to earth, but that's not what it's saying. They can go back and forth. Clearly, New Jerusalem has not come down yet. Rather than moving the goalie net and telling me the fire judgment is reserved for the arrival of New Jerusalem, which is a future event for everybody involved, or that you're quite confident the day of Yahuwah hasn't happened yet, don't lose sight of what Kepha is attempting to convey. The old world perished by way of water, but that is no longer Yahuwah's method of judgment. He's moved on now to fire, fervent heat. Sodom and Gomorrah were mile markers testifying to that fact. Yehuda even tells us so. Therefore, if I can demonstrate for you that a fiery judgment event on par with Petra and Hosep Castle affected the whole world, then you cannot very well place it before Noah's flood. And you will have a difficult time, indeed, finding a reservation on the timeline between Sodom and the writings of Kepha. It happened afterwards. The rainbow is obviously one proof that Yahuwah would never destroy the world again with a flood. No need to quote that here. You can find it in Bereshith, chapter 9, verse 11. All the ancients knew the mile marker had been crossed. That's what makes the following passage so profound. This comes from Recognitions of Clement, chapter, I think book 1, passage 30. In the 17th generation, Nimrod the first reigned in Babylonia and built a city, and thence migrated to the Persians and taught them to worship fire. Some versions just say Nimrod, while multiple others, including my own, christen him with the name Nimrod I, or the first, telling us there's at least a Nimrod.
Can you pause it for a second?
Down the turnpike, if not a third.
I know he's a little tedious, but it's important to listen to what he's saying here, guys, because he said before the flood, they were doing some kind of water sacrifices. And before the fire melt event, they were doing fire sacrifices. And it's like getting people almost prepared for it or something. But you got to listen to what he says here. It's just very interesting. We're going to continue.
Or a fourth. A discussion for another time, though. I can't read something like this, Nimrod teaching the Persians to worship fire, and let that pass. I'd be letting the ball drop if I did. That's huge. Worshipping fire is an immortalization rite. The ancients would pass their children through the flames, often in worship of Baal. For example, moreover, Akaz, burnt incense in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and burnt his children in the fire, after the abominations of the heathen whom Yahuwah had whom Yahuwah had cast out before the children of Yasharel. This comes from 2 Chronicles 28:3. Passing one's child through the flames in the valley of the son of Hinnom isn't irony either. Another name for the valley is Gehenna, otherwise known as the lake of fire, which is in the third heaven. You might be asking yourself why a parent would want to toss their child into anything resembling the lake of fire. Simple. They were attempting to immortalize them, and potentially others, if not themselves, thereby sparing the neophyte from what is destined to come, the second death. Total annihilation by fire. Everybody knew what was coming. Notice how it is Nimrod who introduced this practice to the world, nobody else. Well, here's how they did it before the flood. And for those of you who were in this study with me on the book of Lamech of Cain, I was trying to really push how profound this passage is. And this is what it says. And Lamech and Yuval the giant then sacrificed to Leviathan and taught the sons of Cain and Seth how to pass their children through the waters to Leviathan. And of course, Leviathan is a more than just symbolic of death. Something to think about. Before the final reset by way of floodwater, people passed their children through the water and right into the mouth of Leviathan. Afterwards, through the flames. But before that, through the water. That's because everybody knew the floodwaters were coming. Rather than repenting of their sins, they wanted to circumnavigate Yahuwah's set-apart ways and escape death by their own accord. Therefore, when the Most High promised never to flood the world again, exchanging his judgment to that of fire, it was Nimrod who connected the dots where immortal rights are concerned and made that transition. Of course, this gives us even greater context to Nimrod's attempt at tossing Abraham into the flames. Follow along. Abraham, who is the poor youth, and in whom was the spirit of prophecy from Yahuwah, and to whom Yahuwah was known when 3 years old, and who would not worship an idol, than the wicked Nimrod, who was an old and foolish king. And because Abraham would not worship an idol, he threw him into the burning furnace, and a miracle was performed for him from Yahuwah of the world, and he delivered him from it. And even after this, Nimrod had no sense to be admonished not to worship the idol which he had worshipped before. This comes from the Ecclesiastes Targum 4:13. You see the same story, though, in Jasher and in other places. Seems like Nimrod was appeasing the gods and his worship service backfired. I figured the miracle had a message attached to it. Yahuwah was letting Nimrod and the subjects of his kingdom know how these immortal rights would go down in the coming judgment. Only the set apart would escape Gehenna's destruction and live on into eternity. But as you can clearly see, a very old, quote unquote, old Nimrod did not have the sense to admit, much less notice that he was going about it all wrong. He wanted to conquer heaven as well as immortality without following the path of Shem bar Noah or Abraham and the Melchizedek order. And now for the part where I begin to demonstrate how the world was destroyed by fervent heat. Nimrod never stood a chance. Lightning scar. Some of you guys will remember this from a presentation I gave a little bit ago, but I've kind of strengthened it, improved on it, and I want to give it again. Stopping for a drink of coffee. The Royal Society and the Smithsonian Institute, as well as Jesuit-sponsored learning institutions everywhere in the world, also park rangers, would have you know the Grand Canyon was formed 5 to 6 million years ago when the Colorado River slowly began to cut a channel through layers of rock 1 mile deep. Ridiculous. But you've probably been spoon-fed that indoctrination already. It's why you're here. To scrub the bad taste out of your mouth. And numerous creationists come up with a good theory on their own. It has to do with Noah's flood. Everything has to do with Noah's flood in their own mind. Quite the shame. So many lost opportunities. His story informs us there were far more recent events than the years of Noah's day, and the Grand Canyon very likely appears to be one of them. There are other theories. One is that the Grand Canyon was once a giant quarry. Interesting, but untrue. Sure, there were giants in them parts at one time. And I'm not here to dispute the claims that mummies and other goodies from the Egyptian treasury were secretly carted away by Jesuits posing as U-Haul movers. I'm willing to bet the Grand Canyon was a city at one time.
I've always said the Grand Canyon was a grand city.
Region was probably a sprawling.
I don't know this guy. This is the first time I heard him say this stuff like about 2 weeks ago when I listened to it.
In review, evolutionists insist millions of years, hoping the magically unattainable number will make their story more credible. Whereas the young Earth creationists claim a single year for the Colorado River to do its work. What I'm presently saying is neither the young Earth creationists nor the Darwinists stick the landing. And that is because the Grand Canyon cannot be explained by water erosion alone. There are too many rivers crisscrossing the other. That's not supposed to happen. Certainly not in a flood. Sure, keep coming at me with your magic and claim gravity had a part in it. Electrical scarring is another matter entirely. It seems entirely plausible that the formation of the Grand Canyon was a major electrical event. But it doesn't end there. We find the same sort of scarring all over the world. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, this is what I'm talking about right here. Negative electric discharge scarring. 2 separate photos documenting 2 individual bodies. The left arm on the right and somebody else's backside on the left. Their thick branching redness was created due to the current from a nearby lightning strike. That much isn't disputed. And as you can clearly see, the electrical discharge created geometric patterns across their flesh. There's another name for that. The phenomenon is often referred to as a Tring effect. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my own words tonight, guys. Apologies. Well, what do you know? Another Tring effect, but demonstrated on a woman this time. She too was struck by lightning, obviously. The negative electrical discharge scarring begins at the backside of her neck and continues down to her stomach. There are various other photographs which document which permanent scarring a lightning bolt might do to the flesh. But the point has been made, no? Moving on in our investigation. I'm not going to read this from Wikipedia here, but you can see it. The Lichtenberg figure is just another way of describing the Tring effect. Today we are filled with all sorts of new vocabulary. This is how they define the Lichtenberg figure. It's a branching electrical discharge resulting from a natural phenomenon which exhibits fractal properties and appears on the surface or in the interior of insulating materials, including solids, liquids, and gases. And as you can clearly observe, we have before us what looks like a tree. See, now we're getting somewhere. On page 11, admit it. You didn't believe me when I said the Grand Canyon was the result of a major electrical event. Perhaps I should have called it negative electrical discharge scarring or a Lichtenberg figure. No matter. The Grand Canyon gives the same Tring effect which we've seen in the other photos. That much I'm certain of. Whether it is or isn't is undoubtedly a matter of debate. I'm just offering this information as it comes along. Thanks to the boys up in space and satellites sending us photos of the Earth, edits, I too enjoy recreational activities such as swimming and blowing bubbles underneath. Also, high weather balloons are amazing. I've collected various other photos for the jury's consideration. They derive from nearly every known continent on this flat, motionless plane, telling us how massive this electrical discharge event truly was. And thank you for everyone sending in the photos of this as well as melted cities. And keep sending them in, and I'll keep adding to this document. Page 12. Clockwise from left to right, we find ourselves continent hopping between Australia and South America, specifically Colombia. Amazing how even the rivers...
Let's pause it for a second.
Sure, we could be observing landscapes carved over...
I think that there was definitely an electrical discharge event. I call it an electromagnetic plasma discharge is the way I've always referred to it. And we see in a lot of the biblical depictions of Sodom and Gomorrah that we were showing, Shapu, where there seems to be electricity coming out from the heavens, you might say, not so much fire and brimstone, but more of what looks like lightning, electricity. All right, we're going to continue.
For thousands of years, due to the bulldozing of sand and sediment, or major catastrophe, scarred the earth, and the water is filled in its fractures. I'm not holding a gun to your head. That's for you to decide. In the meantime, let's keep snooping around. On the right, we find ourselves in Australia again. Our destination on the left, however, is Egypt. Not a lot of water in North Africa, and so I'm guessing that's the Nile. I checked. It is. That then begs the question, is it really the Nile? I mean, it is a river, and likewise it has a name. But is it the Nile of old? For all I know, the scarring of it was so extreme upon the earth that all one can really do is claim one waterway or another for the Nile. Next page. Hitting up nearly every known continent on earth, we next fall upon Saudi Arabia. The treeing pattern couldn't be any more apparent. Scarring is everywhere. What we find in Russia is on par with its vodka. That's the picture on the right. So much elevation. The deeper areas are rich green, whereas the higher elevations are covered in snow. I'm aware of the fact that water always finds its level. We see that here. But there's so much more going on if you take the time to really look at it. The electrical pattern is everywhere, not just in the waterways. It is the land which was radically altered. This one goes out to all my Canadian friends. We've arrived in Monte and Maple.
That's you, Shapu.
That's insane in the membrane. Again, deeper rich green and higher elevation snow. Is it simply the water canals we're looking at? No, the entire landscape appears reshaped by an electrical scarring event. Last but certainly not least, we peer in upon the United States from above. Better late than never. But I had forgotten to mention that these aerial photos are sometimes referred to as fractal geometry. How adorable. Anyways, if I'm looking at what I think I'm seeing, people didn't stand a chance. Noah's flood didn't do that. This is Day of Yahuwah stuff. The peoples of the earth were deep fried within seconds. Wherever these electrical discharges landed, nobody opposing the Most High Elohim of Yasharil stood a chance.
And again, this was plain wide. It was not like Sodom and Gomorrah and that was it. It's everywhere that this happened. That's why we see so much evidence everywhere. Okay, here we go.
Cities of our realm. Readers have been sending me all sorts of pictures intended to challenge conventional thinking. The topic of melted cities is just one of them. Seems I'm gaining quite the collection. The problem, of course, is that provocative pictures of melted stuff lands in my mailbox with no return address, meaning I have no way of knowing where on this motionless plane they derive from. Attempting to identify a picture with a real location takes sleuth work. And so I am relieved to say we begin our process of combing through these melted places in Poland. The above picture is none other than, I'm going to misbotch this, guys, Ogrodzenia Castle. I should have known. Found it on Google Maps too. It's there for your convenience. And as you can clearly see, melted. Page 16. The same castle, Ogrodzenia Castle, has its very own article on Wiki. And the very second sentence reads, originating in the 14th century, the castle was rebuilt several times in its long history. Indeed, a long history. I could agree to that. Looks to me like the building melted and they just kept on patching up the blemishes. Moving down to page 17. Don't ask me to pronounce some of these places. Like this one here, Uchisar is one among many such names that will be visited, but would likely be butchered if I tried, which I did just try, and I butchered it. It's a settlement in Cappadocia, by the way, Turkey again. It's also quite literally known as Uchisar or Ukisar Castle, as if that's not suspicious. That the rock is called that, guys. Just look at this beauty. We are told the Hittites were here at one time and that the Byzantines occupied the region for a spell. Seems to me like the wiki is being rather vague. For once, there's a lump in the throat of the people attempting to make stuff up. Apparently, natural cave-studded rock formations such as these made for the perfect hideouts among the ancients. But you and I know better. The ancients who lived here inhabited a city before it melted.
Boom,
I did
baby.
a little more digging and came to discover that this place is only so complete above ground as its city is underground.
That's
One of
right.
its many attractions are the natural tunnels and grottos, quote unquote, to be discovered. Other websites refer to, quote, multi-leveled catacombs, unquote. So which is it? Underground city, natural tunnels and grottos, or multi-leveled catacombs?
Exactly.
I'll be the first to admit that I haven't been there, but I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised if its arch columns escaped the fate of its natural tunnels. Jumping down to page 19. Somebody literally just sent me this photo, and it actually happened. Like, I'm writing this and they sent this to me. It's pretty awesome. Amazing how that works. It's a screen capture, but I don't know from which video. I am told this is the backside of Castle Rock. I checked. It is. Looks like an ancient building to me, even more so than the front side. We were looking at the front side earlier, the castle. I see columns, a domed ceiling, and the stub.
Let's just pause this a second.
Or what may have.
I just found this guy recently. I never knew about him before, and I've been in this for 2 years. Okay. I just think it's amazing that so many people are starting to see this and bring it out and talk about it, because this is one of the truths that has been kept from us. So we see these things as something else. It's a perception deception. We should have always known the earth was flat. We should have always have known how this whole system works. We should have always have known that these events took place and this is what these things are, but we've been lied to on every level, guys. Levels we haven't even figured out yet. We've been lied to on every level, things we can't even fathom. It's just amazing, and I'm very grateful to have come across this guy and his work. He's very thorough, very well written, and I really like how he puts his stuff together. And just again, Meltology 101, guys. It's everywhere. You can't stop truth. Okay, we're going to continue.
Been a cake topper. What do you see? Another name for Ukasar is Pigeon Valley. I think I like that. I'm just going to go with Pigeon Valley and Rock Castle because I can't pronounce the others. Or Valley of the Pigeons. We're expected to believe the ancients built their habitations into the rock, but then notice how the turret in the foreground rises above the sloping hillside, whereas the rock sloshes over the building directly next to it. I'm reminded of Petra all over again. The symmetry is off. Everything about the official narrative is verifiable nonsense. All right, skipping to page 20. Bulgaria can be fingered by very few people on the map, but no matter. It is tucked comfortably between Greece and Turkey. The Rhodope Mountains can be traced there, reminding us once again that we find ourselves within a hotbed of destruction. It is within these formations where we may discover what is described to us as niches and hive stones hollowed out of the rock. But that is not nearly the whole of it, though. On closer inspection, they have the same look as the rest of them, melted. I'm not saying these niches or whatever weren't given a good facelift by people after the fact. They very likely may have. It wouldn't surprise me, though, to learn that windows themselves, or at least what remains of windows, were repurposed for other uses. Page 21. You can see what I mean right here. Sure, somebody may have carved those niches from nothing. They're not exactly uniform, though. I mean, if someone were to take all that effort to drill into a rock for the purposes of building niches or cubby holes for their keys and shoes at the very least, you think they might attempt to line them up right. Symmetry might give your paid clients something to write mom about. Apparently, they went with the natural look, which is precisely my point. Notice how there are similar distortions below the top row? Those are natural. It would be difficult to convince me those two are organization shells. Seems to me like we're gazing at another row of window which didn't survive the fervent heat so well.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on to South America. South America. Page 22. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid met their end at the hands of the Bolivian army near Tupiza. That's just a side note, though, to our present location, Bolivia. Particularly the dramatic red escarpments, which jut ruggedly skyward. I think I was trying to get a little bit too.
All right, we're going to pause it here.
Reminding us once again of a melted cap.
So we're going to drop this link one more time in the chat in case anybody missed it. You can watch it in its entirety at your own leisure. It's very, very good. And he's got a lot of other stuff on his channel that will interest you. This is like part 2. So he's got different parts and stuff. And we're going to get ready to wrap this up. We've been on 3 hours, but I did wanted to get this out to you guys. I meant to mention it 2 live streams ago, I think. Yeah, he's got some interesting stuff, and all his stuff is lengthy. It's, 2 hours long, 3 hours long, and stuff like that. But it's, again, there's another person coming out with what? Oh, Meltology, the study and exploration of melted structures. It's going to have its own Wikipedia page.
Yeah. It looks like he's listening to mentologists, the way he talks and the way he mentions things,
And this stuff was here as a reminder to us of what happened. They, the powers that be, the people who write his story, and the archaeologists and stuff, want us to think that these are all natural structures, or they give it some crazy historical narrative with crazy dates and all this other stuff. I mean, it's just amazing to me that so much is being revealed right now. Hey, Steve. And please check out his work. Even if you're not really into, like, say, the biblical side of it, and he talks a lot about where all his information's coming from, you can't deny, once you see it, you can see that it's melted. Something happened. When it happened, I'm not sure. But we're starting to figure out how it happened and why it happened. I think Shapu has a great theory on why it may have happened. And you want to talk about that, Shapu?
Yeah, it's all about how people feel in their hearts. This is the connection to the source, our hearts. And when most people live in fear and hatred and like
where we're at right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like Sodom and Gomorrah, got destroyed because it was too sinful, the sin city,
Yeah.
But, it's all about how because this place, it's all controlled by all of us, each and everyone that lives in here.
Right.
And if most people live in fear and hatred and
so if this is a cyclical event, right? Let's say they're putting it. All right. So God created this system. The creator created this system. So he can make things happen whenever he wants, right? That's what we like to think and stuff like that. In the biblical terms, there was all of this sin and craziness going on and mixing of DNA, and there was a flood because, these people were living in sinful ways. You might say, they were destructive. They were destroying, the DNA of humans and mixing them and all this other crazy stuff. So stuff that's going on today happened back then. That's why there was a flood, right? What if at that particular cyclical reset event, right? Those people back then at the flood time, whatever time period date that is, right? Because I don't think it was, 5,000 years ago or something. Say they weren't doing all that muffed up stuff. Say they were living really, really good. I think when that X factor would have happened, it would not have been as severe. You may even say it might not have been as severe of a judgment on people, right? But they were in such a shitty place with everything, their consciousness, the Antichrist consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And then when the X factor came for that reset event, it was severe and most people perished during it. Fast forward to this last reset event, right? Say these are two separate events. And this one, again, people were living, the same sinful way and doing all this destructive stuff and everything. The pole shift, reset, whatever it is, cyclical event happens again. And this time it is even more destructive. And except, of course, it wasn't with water, it was with fire this time. But say, gosh, I don't even know how to connect these two in my mind. There's just no words for it. But I'm just trying to say, like, you could say, like, well, this time, like, because I feel like we're headed towards another X Factor event, it could be just as severe or even worse than the last X Factor event. You know what I mean? Or say if we're in a really good place, this X Factor event could come and go and we'd barely feel it. You see what I'm saying? Oh, it's a lot to comprehend and compress and process through in your head. Because, I don't presume to know what the creator thinks or does or whatever like that. I'm only trying to go with what Shapu says here, because I do feel that is, you're really onto something. Because if our hearts are heavy, then we're going to be affected a lot more during these events that take place, which seem to be in some type of a cyclical nature, whether they call it judgment coming down from God at this particular time because these people have gotten so out of whack. Because it always seems to be, it's not in the beginning when people are getting out of whack with sin and all this stuff like that. It's when they've gotten to the most pinnacle point of destruction to their surroundings, the people, the animals, everything, is when, boom, the hammer comes down. You know what I mean? So, raise your vibration, people. Exactly. Not an X Factor event. It's God's judgment. Exactly. So, I'm just trying to put it in. We use these terms of X Factor, and then in the Bible, it's spoke of as a God's judgment. I'm saying if we look at our plane and how our system works, it may have a cyclical event that does take place at certain times with the pulsating of our torus field that we're in here in this plane, that if it like breathes in and out, it's like God, I can see it in my head. It's so hard to explain. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Yeah. I think we call it God's judgment because if the creator created this system, then we would think he would have control over these situations. But the system may be set up in such a way that it already has this built into it, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and it's up to us during this time period to come along and better be living right. Right? You got to be living right and in the right mind frame, and your civilization got to be right with shit. Because when that cyclical thing comes around, that judgment, you're going to be judged, and it's going to matter if your heart's heavy or not, if your civilization is corrupt and stuff. Because if it's not, that judgment, that cyclical event will not be there, because we are lings of the earth. We have a connection to this. We're co-creators in our environment here. They've totally connected us from all this shit. I hope I'm explaining this right. I probably in that job.
The creator made this place for all of us, So we are the co-creators, and he gave us the control over the rest of this place because he did his work already.
Yes.
He made this place.
Natalie's making a good point here. These are the elements. We got earth, we got wind, we got fire, we got water. What we already went through water and fire. What's the next one going to be? Because
they talk about the air today.
Exactly, and Lucifer being the prince of the air and stuff, guys. So I'm trying to connect this whole thing, the way they put it in the Bible about these judgments, these times of judgment. They seem to be, there's time periods between them. It seems to be cyclical, like maybe every 300 to 400 years, something's happening. And it depends on where we're at. Now, of course, the powers that be love the fact that we're where we're at in the timeline and how we are as a civilization, where our consciousness is. Everything's corrupt everywhere.
Yeah. That's what they do. We just showed you on the news benders. They make fear in people, and they make them fight each other, and they make them not to be happy. So they just continue.
And they create all this. They create all this strife, all this fear on the news. They create the news, right? Who knows what they got made up for next year's news? This year was all, wars and rumors of war. Last year and year before that, it was all pestilence and disease. And it was just like,
yeah, exactly. Because people now, they go out and they think they live in hell, but when I go, you need to change your mindset. And when you go out, you live in heaven, you know. This is paradise. You live in paradise. But if you think you live in hell,
you're going to create hell on earth, especially when the next cyclical event, judgment, whatever you want to call it, comes around. You know what I mean? And it does come around. It seems to come around. I used to think there was only one X Factor event, but this is when I was new into this information. And I think it's good to have an open mind and pull all these pieces together to the puzzle and see how they fit. And I'm seeing how it fits now. And Natalie, what you said about the elements there, that's really a key component. Like I tell you guys all the time, we all have a piece to this puzzle. None of us are retarded, okay? None of us are sniffing glue. We all have a piece to this puzzle.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't want you to see it, you need to ask yourself why they don't want you to see this. Yeah. It would be like a Globie not wanting you to see flat Earth. Why would they not want you to see flat Earth? Look at how it's changed your life and your perception of things.
Yeah. And they always say that we're moving like into the Aquarius age. But Aquarius is an air sign. It is
an air sign. It's the water bearer, which is the bringer of knowledge. I'm Aquarius, by the way. And it is an air sign. Yeah. That always confused me.
Yeah, because it's a water bearer, but it's an air sign. Yeah.
So what if winds, like what do they call those things? Tempests.
Tempests, tornadoes.
Would be next.
Cyclones.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like
Jen, it's funny because I can believe it, because here where I live, never had tornadoes. Never. 2 years in a row, 2 tornadoes here, destroyed like
dude.
Crazy.
I just said to my husband the other day, I'm like, are we living in fucking what the hell's that?
Tornado Alley?
No. It's called Oklahoma, where the winds come sweeping down the plains, right? It's really windy in Oklahoma. It always is, right? But here in Alabama, it's not windy all the time. We get some storms with wind, but like the past like 4 weeks, it's been like crazy windy, like these crazy winds just coming. And we have mountains around us. We shouldn't even have that. The mountains, the melted buildings, mountains of melted buildings around us. Because see, I'm still brainwashed a little bit to use these terms as well, guys. I'm not perfect. I'm, still readjusting my brain.
At least in your mind, you know what you're talking
about. But yeah, we've had crazy winds here too. And so it could be some sort of a wind tempest or something like that. That could be next up for the next X Factor event. I mean, who knows? Or ice, or ice, maybe, or I don't know. We got fire, water, air, and what's the other one?
Ice age is already passed, so the ice is already done.
So this was really good. Wow, I have so much to think about now.
You didn't have time to show your footage, but maybe on the next.
Oh gosh, you know what, Shapu? I'm gonna.
Well, we've been on.
I would have to send it to you because that shit ain't gonna work on my end. Yeah. So yeah, let me send you a couple of things here real quick. We'll see how this works out. You don't have to have the volume on it all, by the way, neither. We got this one here. I'll send you. It might take a minute to load. And I think this one here was really short, but we'll send you that one too. And then there was this other one. I have to show you guys this. We went to the park recently, and I've always seen geese, but I've never seen baby geese. And I found some baby geese, and they were the cutest little thing. What's up, James? Oh, she's awfully quiet.
Yes, she was sleeping, I guess.
Oh, pretty baby. All right, hold on. Where is it? Oh, okay. Hold on. It's here. Ooh, I got to eat some dinner. I'm hungry. Here it is. Okay. It looks like the videos are, oh shit.
Too big?
Oh, no. They're probably just loading on your end. It's just takes a minute. It's almost done loading. It just takes a Sick. The first one's coming through any second, and the rest are still loading. But yeah, we went up to Mount Chiha today, which is the mountain, the melted building known as Mount Chiha, which has water coming out of the top of it. Jeremy and I had tracked the source back to tracked the water back to its original source, which is just a little spout of water coming out of the ground at the very top of the mountain. So we got some footage up there today. Take a look at that. Like I said, you don't have to have the volume on.
All right.
And then after that, we'll get ready to go. Groundhog's Day. Steve, I'm January 28th. Tempest is related to Spanish. Time goes by. All right, hold on. Here we go.
When you're ready.
Yep. All right, guys, this is up at Chiha today. That's Jeremy in the hole going into this little cave here, and that's my son over here with his shirt off. Just saying.
Wow.
Yeah, look at this thing. And there's mortar lines everywhere.
Is that coral?
Well, if we were flooded here, it would be coral. It's a beautiful day. It was kind of hot, but it was beautiful. There's some mortar lines up there. I think I zoom in on them. No, it's the sunlight and everything, but you can see it like on that one rock is the bottom of it. There's always parallel running mortar lines here everywhere. And they're about, 6-7 inches apart, just like you would see brick lines, mortar lines on a regular brick wall.
Oh yeah, look at this block.
Yeah, you can see the 3 mortar lines there running up through it.
Oh. Hi, Alessandro. Last one is not mine.
Hola. There's more mortar lines up there. This is where I was today, guys. I fell and scraped my leg pretty good. But it's okay. It's worth it. Oh, this is cool here. Look at this. Look at this thing I zoom in. See this? Look. Look at that. Just huge, massive boulders everywhere up here. This whole building collapsed, crushed down on itself, and slid down half the way. You can see boulders going all the way down. It's just amazing.
This is just replay. I'm trying to.
Yeah, we'll go to the next one. They were short clips because I didn't know how much storage I had left on my phone. I mean, the camera really doesn't do it justice, I gotta say.
Yeah. Now look at that. It's all slanted.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there was another one. Yeah, three.
Yeah, this last one is the geese. So these baby geese are so cute.
Oh yeah.
And they look like little footballs when they're bobbing down like that. Like they're just little butts are sticking up. They're just so cute.
We have like thousands and thousands of them. They call Canadian geese. So
yeah. I got attacked by Canadian geese when I was little. We were down around the art museum in Philly. It's called East River Drive along the Schuylkill River. And I was feeding them. I had to be about 5, 6 years old. I don't know. I was little. They came right up to me and they surrounded me. They were like starting to peck at me and attack me. I couldn't get away from them. My mom had to come run over to rescue me.
They probably had like these children with them. I don't know what they call them.
Look at them
Duckling.
when they bob in the water like that. They're so freaking cute. Just couldn't take it. It's just so cute. Look at them. Oh, I love it. It's just like the best thing ever that I saw that day. It was just great.
I think I have one video of these two. I was like filming bricks on the side of the water, and they just came just eating around the beach where I was, and like two families just running around where I was. I was not moving much, so they were really close.
They're just so cute.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I got for tonight. I mean, I probably have more stuff, but we'll have to do another show. We've been on for 3 hours and 21 minutes, and I'm going to go spend some time with the hubby. Check out that guy's site, that link. If you still copied and pasted it from earlier, it may still be in your copy and paste if you want to try to drop it in here one more time. That link. But yeah, he's got good information. It's just verifying everything that I've already talked about over the last 2 years. It's nice to see somebody that I don't know, never heard of before, talking about the same information. It's there. You can't miss it. You can't unsee it. That's for sure. You can't unsee it. It's like flat Earth. Try to not see flat Earth and go back to the globe. You can't do it. I can't go back to these things being mountains and hills and gorges and, Grand Canyons and all this other freaking shit. I can't do it. It's just not the truth of the matter. So I have to go with the truth of the matter, and that I've been living a lie my whole life, thinking I thought I knew what things were because I was taught it by jackwagon geologists in historian class. We all were fooled for a very long time, but now we can see. And there's a reason why this is coming out, guys. This is one of the major things to come out in the apocalypse. We are the apocalypse, first off. It's coming out through us. We're bringing you this information. They're not telling you on TV, hey, look, that's not a mountain. It's a melted building, or it's a mountain of melted buildings. No, they're saying it took millions of years to form tectonic plates and pressures. So, it's important for us to know this now because we're getting ready to come up on another reset, and we need to be reminded of what happened before. And we need to not have heavy hearts. We need to get right with God, Jesus, everything. Get right with your family. Get right with your friends. Get right with yourself, and start living better. Start living right. Start living righteous. And that's where we need to be. Just leave all the fear-based crap behind.
Yeah. Because that's how they play it. They use your own mind against you.
That's right. We've been having a perception deception since the day we were born. We've been lied to, deceived, to see the world the way they want us to perceive things. And if that sounds familiar to you, I said that same exact thing in the documentary, When the Buildings Cry. That's the same exact thing I said. Like I always say at the end of my shows, the only thing that evil needs to prevail is for good men and women to stand by and do nothing. Let it not be said that we're standing by and doing nothing. We are showing you these truths. You need to see this. You need to stop listening to people who tell you not to look at this stuff. You need to start showing other people. It's as important as flat Earth. Everybody's like, oh, show your family, tell your friends. You need to do the same thing with this stuff. I know they're going to think you're crazy. You're going to get all the same scorn and rejection that you did with flat Earth, but they need to see it. They need to see how bad they've been lied to.
Exactly.
Thank you, Shapu, for helping me out with all this.
Yeah, it's no problem, Jen. I love it when I do shows. I only do shows with you, I guess, because I've been asked to go elsewhere, but I really don't want to. So.
Well, I love you, and I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I love doing shows with you. And I know everybody else thinks we're a great team. My other brother from another mother. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Shapu, his channel is linked in the show notes below. If you guys are interested in one of these shirts, it's in the show notes below. You can find out how to get one. I do not sell them. So if you want a shirt, Meltology 101, or this one with the definition, you'd have to leave a donation, and in the comment box, your email, your shirt size, your address, and which shirt you want. and I'll be able to get a hold of you and get it out to you. I've already sent out like 5 shirts already to people. So, and everybody loves them. Shapu has one. He loves his, right?
Yes. It's really, really nice.
And it's a good way to spread the news about what we've learned and what we're trying to show people here. You know, they're like, oh, Meltology, what's that? Well, wear your shirt, you know, show them.
Yeah.
I mean, I just tell people, look at Petra. And once you figured out that she's melted, Petra makes sense. Okay? Before that, Petra don't make sense. You walk through Petra scratching your head like, what the fuck? Oh, it's melted. Duh. Oh, we didn't go to the moon. I wonder why. Oh, because it's flat and there's a dome. Oh, so duh. It makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I love you, Shapu, and I am very, very...
I love you, Jen, and I love everyone in the chat. Thank you for listening to us and sticking in.
I'm very thankful that anybody's listening to us, but this is very compelling information, and we all need to see it and digest it and realize that something did happen, and it was pretty fucking bad. And we don't want that to happen again, but it's coming, guys. Something is coming. We can all feel it. And we're going to be back in the next day or so with another live stream. I'm planning on doing something maybe Saturday night or Sunday night. Probably
Maybe
Saturday night.
More Sunday, because I got some stuff coming up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it Sunday then.
Well, I'm not even sure for Sunday, because I'm gonna be busy. I've got 2 pools to go put up, and my cousin's birthday, I think it's Sunday, so maybe I'll be here later, but
well, if not, I'm definitely going to go live. I have some stuff, if I can get my shit to work. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Love ya.
Thanks,